6 o'clock, good morning live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Western Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 30 points to lead the Thunder past the Spurs 122-113, and they evened the series up at one game apiece. To the Western Conference Finals in the NHL playoffs, Carter Hart made 36 saves as the Golden Knights steal Game 1 4-2 and beat the Colorado Avalanche. In Tennessee Titans news yesterday, the team announced that they have hired former NFL and Commanders executive Dave Gardy as their new executive vice president of football operations. Gardy will report to GM Mike Borgonzi and oversee the football administration, football strategy and analytics, football research, football information systems, video equipment, team operations, as well as security. In other NFL news yesterday, Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers announced yesterday that he will retire from the NFL after this season. The four-time MVP, 10-time Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl champion, Rodgers will play his 22nd and final NFL season with the Steelers this year. And Tennessee and Vanderbilt baseball, both of them SEC tournament journey, they have ended. The Vols lost 8-4 to Arkansas, and the Commodores lost 8-3 to Florida. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramon and Will, hour one, beginning on this Friday Junior, as they call it. Thursday morning, little rainy, little misty, little cloudy. Rhett Bryan filling in for Will Bowling, who is on assignment. And bless his heart, Ramon Foster is still making his way through traffic. Justin Hawkins behind the glass, making it happen. He says there's a 5-car pileup at the 65-24 split. So that would explain why he is not in his chair yet this morning. He is not immune to our traffic problems that we all face pretty much daily in this thing. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Today, got a bunch of stuff lined up. As a matter of fact, Taylor Zarzer joins us at 7:30 for a special announcement. Eric Mateos, the offensive line coach at Wisconsin, in the 8 o'clock hour. He was draft pick Fernando Carmona's position coach at Arkansas for his 2 years there. And the VFL Robert Ayers, Big Rob, coming in the 9 o'clock hour to talk Vols and pretty much anything else. A lot to get to this morning, a lot of headlines that kind of popped up overnight. Justin Hawkins, the one that got me, that Bayou Bengals fans, those LSU Tigers, is that Ed Orgeron is coming back to the program under Lane Kiffin for a special assignment in the coaching roster.
I may or may not have had a slight chuckle when I saw that. Was very surprised by that. It looks like he's going to be overseeing some scouting and just some...
it says a special assistant to recruiting and defense. And if you went to bed early, like all of us that are doing this shift, this is news to you. And, he was head coach there for 6 years, obviously a national title with Joe Burrow in 2019. Coach O, man, he's still around and kicking. You just can't seem to knock that guy down, man. He just keeps moving. You talk about a dude, and no wonder he's in, a special assignment to recruiting, because he can do some recruiting now. Coach O is full of life. And that gravelly voice of his just tickles me. I just think about it. Where's Micah Tiger? Micah Tiger. Remember that remember when he was trying to do a presser and they were having basketball practice. He was doing it in the gym. He goes, "Stop practicing over there. We have a press conference."
Yeah.
Where's Micah Tiger at?
Go give me some gumbo.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Go Tigers.
Coach O. That's one of the things that dropped. In your update that you just mentioned at the top of the hour, the Titans have a new executive vice president, football operations, Dave Gardy. And Jayhawk, this man comes in with one heck of a resume.
He sure does.
You're talking about not only, he was with the Washington Commanders as senior vice president of football initiatives, but prior to that, he spent 21 years at 345 Park Avenue in New York City at the league office for the NFL, holding the title of Senior Vice President of Football Operations. So he had 21 years in the league, 10 years at that position. So prior to his last 2 years in Washington, 10 years as the senior VP of football ops, which means one thing. He knows the rules of this game and how much they have, they get tweaked every offseason with competition committee votes and those things. But he knows the game. And that would be selling his resume short, just leaving it there, because as the VP of football initiatives for the Washington Commanders, he supported the coaching staff, front office, several critical important areas, including in-game management duties, ensuring compliance with league protocols, analyzing officiating trends, and serving as a key liaison to the league office. Surprise, because he's been there and done that before. But yeah, with the VP of football ops at the league office, it says he helped construct and develop policies and procedures that ensured competitive balance and integrity of the game, while also overseeing the administration of league rules on game days. He was a former quarterback, played in the Ivy League at Brown, and had a bachelor's degree in political science, a doctor of law degree at Hofstra. He's the son of a football coach. Football resume from start to finish.
Yeah, I think what's cool is the rules aspect to it. I think the Titans have kind of struggled in that department a little bit in terms of the front office and who's in the ear of the head coach. I don't know if necessarily if Gardy will be in the ear helping to, in this case, Saleh for the rules of the game and in terms of in-game analytics, but I think this is a good first step in that department. And I'm excited for that because you have a guy who just knows ball and a lot of it.
Well, and to your point, I mean, as to exactly what his role is, he's at least there in an advisory part of this as a sounding board. Hello, Ramon Foster.
Good morning, Red Brown. What up, Jayhawk?
It rained, and so thus hence the traffic.
Not just that. If y'all are coming into Nashville from north of the city, from 65
from
north,
Humble,
Hendersonville, and that region, there is a 5-car wreck at the 65-24 split if you're coming into Nashville, if you're driving, going towards Rosa Park, or driving in front of the stadium. Major slowdown. I think the police just got there as I was making myself late for work this morning. So,
all good.
Yeah. But yeah, good morning. I heard you guys discussing the new hire, man.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, and you're talking about a guy that worked for NFL ops for a decade and has 21 years in the league office, and then did a previous stop for a couple of years with the Washington Commanders. Guy knows operations. Guy knows ball, as Jayhawk says. He knows rules.
No doubt.
I'm sure he knows many people on that competition committee that help craft and move those rules, fluctuation every offseason as things pop up. That's a huge pillar of knowledge to bring into the Titans building.
Absolutely, and it's necessary, too. Again, I look at the way this team is being restructured, man, from the roster to the coaches to the understanding of the branding of the Titans as well. And you got to make sure that you're checking every box. And to me, Dave Gardy sets that as far as on-field presence, coaches getting them up to speed, players knowing what they can and cannot do as well. But it just gives you more than anything, like I said, a game day presence that whatever is going on the field, you most likely have an answer either up in the booth or on the sideline, whichever he's going to be at. And of course, too, off-season setup and the way you go about those parts, too. When you mentioned football operations, that is a lot of things under one umbrella. But again, it's on-field, off-field, and just whole management of I would think more of the coaching staff. And again, the way you look at the way Mike Borgonzi setting this thing up, it is an official person, I feel like, at every level for almost every department.
So from the Titans press release yesterday afternoon, in his role as EVP Football Operations, Gardy will oversee football administration, football strategy and analytics, football research, football information systems, video equipment, team ops, and security, while reporting directly to General Manager Mike Borgonzi. And that's the key in all of this, is this just bolsters, solidifies, and helps Mike Borgonzi and his lieutenants and Reggie McKenzie and Dave Ziegler and all the scouting department and all of those folks and the coaching staff. It helps them succeed.
It does. It's apparent to me that the way Mike Borgonzi's setting us up, and of course, like you said, with the departure of Chad Brinker and bringing in now his people, it's kind of the way I look at this situation. He's trying to set up football is going to be all about football, and the side day-to-day operations, cameras, field travel. Let's hand this to somebody I know I can trust to set all this up so that we can go do this thing that makes all of us successful. And that's win football games right there. That to me is smart, is what I would just simply call it.
Yeah, because while you're doing that, and that sets you up to do the best job you can do, you can also draw from him as a pillar of knowledge.
Absolutely.
In his prior stops and experience as to maybe navigating something you hadn't navigated before, or just, hey, you ran into this, back in 2018 or whatever. How did you get through it?
And if you even look at it from a bigger scale, though, too, Rhett, just the way the NFL is expanding, too, being able to have somebody that you can set aside and absolutely have those tasks ready for you by the time you get to it. The league right now is talking about 16 international games, going to different continents and stuff like that. Like, this is where you as a team don't want the side distraction, because, like as I said before, the main product, the main show is what happens on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, and now Saturdays as well. And you want to keep that the main focus while being able to handle everything else. I'm
glad you mentioned that the expansion or proposed expansion eventually of international games. They're already at 9, which is the most they've ever had in 26. At the league meetings in Orlando on Tuesday, they voted to expand it to the max 10 per the CBA. That runs through 2031. I'm glad you brought this up, because I saw a clip of Albert Breer on the Pat McAfee program, on the Pat McAfee show, I believe from yesterday. And he is talking about 18 games. And he's talking about 18 games before the CBA is up. Because he was leading to, I think it's the Vegas Super Bowl prior to the one coming to Nashville, Super Bowl 63, still doesn't have a date.
Yeah.
Because of the, so anyway, what I was trying to say to set you up in this is having Dave Gardy in that, you talk about huge.
Yeah.
We get to 18 games. You're going to need a guy who has been through and seen all this stuff with the league and in his stops other places, because of all the talk that will be brought on. Because you're talking about some major discussion getting to 18 from the player's perspective in the NFLPA.
It is. It is preseason setup, this offseason setup, too. It's the management of this new calendar, too. This calendar will be extended. Like, we might see a Super Bowl after Valentine's Day. Like, that's how far the season can get stretched out. But not just that. Again, the term that gets me is the football operation side of it for Dave Gardy, though, too. Like, this is how we're going to operate moving forward, and that is in the new CBA, too. I think the window for negotiating more games does open up in 27, if my memory serves me correct on what we negotiated in 2020 going into this one. It is a 10-year deal, but there's a window that opens in 7, and 7 is next year as it pertains to the league or the end of this year. The conversation's loud. You said Albert Breer is already bringing up. If you look at the conversations that came from the Super Bowl and also just the draft in general, that conversation has been constant. It's a sticky conversation to speak about 18 games because, again, we knew when we went to 17, 18 was next.
It's eventual.
We knew it. Like, it couldn't just be an odd number with this, because you look at certain things, too. The split of 9 games versus 8 games at home. This is where teams earn. And you having a guy right now, like I said, and bringing in Dave Gardy, that can start setting those plans up. The league, I'm sure, is, of course, proposing some stuff behind closed doors or beginning to set themselves up in that fashion. I was a union rep for a while, and this is where them getting unified and getting themselves, I guess, back together from the, a little bit of a displacement that they had last year with the change of the executive director.
Yep.
This is where teams, I think, will take advantage of it, but also find themselves trying to balance out what the schedule is, because this is collectively bargained. Guys will have to have time off. How do you do the 18-2 with the preseason? How many joint practices do you do? Well, guess what, as far as the Titans go? They got a guy that can go ahead and start setting that calendar up for them.
And the thing that I feel like the league would argue is that because of the college football playoffs, there are guys who are used to 16 games. Pat Coogan comes in from the Indiana Hoosiers on national champion, and he played 16 games.
He did.
In the old world, not that long ago, that's a full regular season in the NFL. Now, that wouldn't count in preseason games, but much longer than the average college football season. They're going to argue it's like, well, they're already used to that. What's another week or two? But I know when you're talking about 100% success rate in injury in this game, contact sport,
it's going to happen. Then
you're probably going to have a post-Valentine's Super Bowl because you're going to have another bye week. You're going to have probably an expanded roster, and what is 46 active on game day goes to whatever number on game day. And then, that's one of the great things, very few short list, of what COVID did for us is this, the practice squad and the expanded practice squad and keeping that. That has been a very good byproduct of a horrible time for all of us.
Man.
And that number may move and expand because you're talking about, he's like, it's just 1 week. Well, there's a little more to it than that.
But to your point, as much as the league is growing, the growth of the roster has to be a part of it as well, especially if the money matches your ability to pay out as well. Like, I know it's 53-man roster right now. Do you go to 58 and plus 15 or 16 practice squad guys? Like, you might mess around and have an 80-man roster. And again, here's the thing. I won't go 80-man roster, but the numbers have to go up for the extra time and more games that you're asking guys to play.
Maybe 75 total.
The availability to extra players because of the 2 extra games has to be there for coaches because, again, there are only so many elite athletes out there.
And it goes back to what you said to start this particular part of the segment in the eye of 9 international games, 10 international games at max next year, and opening negotiating window for the one that's going to expire, the CBA in 2031, with an eye on 16 of those. That comes into play in this because, man, you go to Australia and play a damn football game.
Yeah.
I mean, from LAX, that's like a 15-and-a-half-hour flight.
It's pretty insane, right?
So for the teams that are on the West Coast, it's still a haul. So that's going to come into play, too.
It is. But back to the original before we had to break, though, getting in Gardy, I think, shows, I guess, the management of Mike Borgonzi as to take stuff off of his plate. Because to be GM of a team, most GMs handle all of these departments that he's over right now, Dave Gardy. And if he can go do, and I think we've seen it as of late, if Borgonzi can go do just the football thing, set up his staff, make sure the on-field product is good, that's what he's looking to do. Simplify his job.
Right. And in the closest correlation in a football organization, it's what Robert Saleh's doing right now.
It is.
He's the head coach with a 30,000-foot view, all 3 phases and all those things that come with it. And he has people in charge of things. He has John Bones Fossil. He has Brian Dable. He has Gus Bradley. And, with his hand on things. But he has people he's entrusted to do the work so that he can be the best head coach he can be. Same kind of thing.
It is. It is. Similar setup. But, again, for a guy that doesn't want the day-to-day of what kind of towels or what we need to order or what is the film crew doing, I like this for guys like or Borgonzi that set themselves up to just separate the business from the actual game. Beautiful place to be at.
Indeed. Hey, let's take a break here. When we come back, Aaron Rodgers has finally decided to hang up the cleats after 2026. We'll talk about what his impact in the league is and some other headlines that have populated last night. All of that just ahead on Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone. She's Christy O'Brien. I'm Rhett Bryan, filling in for Will Bowling on assignment with Ramon and Will here on 104.5 The Zone.
Yeah.
The big ragu, Will, is in the pilot seat here. Join us. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Chat's open. Always chatty in there. Let's go over, while we got a minute here, let's go over some of the headlines that populated last night. As you were making your way through traffic going, dang it, get me to the building.
Yeah, seriously.
How about Ed Orgeron being back at LSU? That popped last night. You know, I was going to bed. I was like, whoa, well, there's something for the show tomorrow.
Man, I mean, the way he left with a $17 million buyout initially, he was like, I'm not leaving. He's like, wait, we got a buyout for you. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll take my boxes.
I'm gone.
Yeah. It was comical. Like,
y'all can keep Micah Tyga.
Exactly. You look at his situation. Is he a Cajun? I got a feeling like he's from New Orleans. The accent.
Oh, no,
itself,
he definitely is.
He's
now,
from there. Yes.
Listen, let me say this: our longtime NFL draft expert, Mike Titillier.
Yes.
They grew up together.
Yeah, La Rose, Louisiana is where he's born and raised. Mike Titillier would talk about going to his mama's house and eating the Cajun food she's so good at making and whatever. But yeah, he definitely is Cajun. You know what? I admire what LSU is doing right now. I'm a huge advocate of like having rivalries, having a villain team is okay. Especially, I would say, with how college is set up in general. Like, I feel like college nowadays, with as much transferring and switching schools, even for the coaches, easy for them to go to new places. But when you look at Lane Kiffin and how he left Ole Miss, you look at the staff that he's putting together. You look at the number that they gave him to go down to the Bayou Red and be their head coach, and the team that he's assembled thus far. Like, he's got first-round draft picks at almost every position going. If not, he's got high five stars that'll be high draft picks. And then you look at what Will Wade is doing. Like, he's got a basketball team down there that averages the age of 23 years old in basketball team. He's got former pros. That's two coaches right now that are polarizing and are probably hated, will be hated. Will Wade's not getting it right now. But he will in the fall whenever everybody recognizes he's got pros on his basketball team. So you got Lane, you got Will Wade, you got Kim Mulkey, who's always hot. She's hot all the time. The baseball team is usually good. They're not this year.
Well, to your point, and this is a poor correlation because I'm a wrestling guy, but in the entertainment of it all, in professional wrestling, sports entertainment, you have to have a heel.
You got to have a heel.
You have a face, the baby face and the face, the good guys, and then you need a heel.
Oh, what is it? It was Nick at first, Nick Saban. But we hated him because he won so daggone much, okay? Is that fair to say? But he went about it his way. Kirby Smart's had his run with it. Ohio State's always in it, but I don't know of Ohio State's villains other than the fact that everybody say, man, we just hate them because they're so big and they win all the time.
Our villains, though. It is to a point a national villain, but really a Southeastern Conference villain.
No doubt about it.
That's what we're really talking about
Lane,
right here. And there is that in other conferences.
It is, no doubt about it. And Lane Kiffin has added to that. Going to get Ed Orgeron, one, he's a bulldog when it comes down to recruiting. I don't know.
And that's one of the reasons that they mentioned what his responsibilities are in bringing it back.
Bulldog.
No, he's a tiger.
He is a tiger.
Tiger about it.
You imagine that dude coming in your living room?
That's what I'm saying.
You're probably going, yep, I'm in.
He got charisma out the wazoo, right, when it comes down to him being able to talk and just make you feel like you'd belong at LSU.
Well, I think he's a master of BS, too.
Listen, I think that's called recruiting. No.
Yes. He's not alone in that boat.
No, he's not alone. But I commend what LSU is doing. Like, I'm not even mad at it just yet. Just looking at it, I'm like, okay, Lane is doing the thing, and Ed Orgeron's just another piece of it to me. Congrats to him. He got $17 million a walk, and I'm sure he's getting a nice payday to come back there and give his services back to LSU.
Absolutely.
They a big case study for me this year. Like this, if there was ever a buy-in, a pour out, LSU's done it.
Yeah, that's true. One of the other major headlines that dropped last night is that Aaron Rodgers has come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2026 season, but he has made it clear that 2026 is indeed his last season in the National Football League. Now, this is the guy that was the last guy sitting in the green room in 2005 at the draft. And this is back when it was at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, the home of the Rockettes. And, listen, you know how much I have a disdain for just how he operates. Like,
No
dude,
doubt.
he just looks miserable. He has the worst.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes,
Yes.
that. He has terrible body language. He just looks like he'd rather be anywhere else doing anything else than playing the sport of quarterback in the National Football League. But you got to give the dude his flowers. I know there was one world championship out of this 20-plus, 22-year career. But, man, when you start looking at his numbers, get this. So here's the two things that stood out to me. And one is super important. But the first one I looked at, he has the best career passer rating at 102.2.
Yes.
Career in the NFL, which is now 107 years old.
Yeah.
But the one that got me was number one in interception percentage, touchdown to interception. He's at 1.4% for his career.
He didn't miss. He did not miss, right? And on top of that, still currently is he and Matthew Stafford, I guess, are battling out for number 5 right now at some point. He's 5th overall in yards passing as far as the NFL goes.
66,274.
4-time league MVP.
Yep.
I think individually, when it boils down to everybody else behind Brady, he's, to me, top tier when it comes down to athleticism, playmaking, and just style of ball that he played, too. Like, I feel before he became the villain, Aaron Rodgers, the discount double check and everything else, he was, and I don't think anybody, we don't say it enough, but he was Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes was. I remember Aaron when he finally took off post Brett Favre era, like everybody loved him. The same way that everybody loved Patrick Mahomes because it was exciting. You saw this guy be a magician with his legs. You saw him do stuff under center, outside of the pocket where he's got
the plays with his body.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And then would beat you to the sideline in his younger days when he was good with his legs. You have to give it up for Aaron Rodgers. The biggest knock, and you mentioned it a second ago, 22 years, 1 ring.
Yeah.
22 years, 1 ring, and he's had numerous times in which they've been the number 1 overall seed on the NFC side, and they got bounced from the playoffs too. He's had his open gripes about the Green Bay front office, and he needs receivers, he needs weapons and stuff like that. And I think as talented as he was and still is, he's got something in him still. They said, you go do it, Aaron. And that's why I think he became a little bit dark, to be quite honest with you.
I think that has a lot to do with that because when you look at the 1 Super Bowl on the resume and bulk of his time in Green Bay.
I saw that one in person too, by the way.
There was a window where they didn't draft a receiver in the first round for many, like Javon Walker, I think it was, from Florida State back in 2002 or whatever it was the last one up until this last couple of draft classes, last 4 or 5 draft classes they've had in all of this. 527 career touchdowns, top 5. 65% completion percentage for his career. Yeah. And here's the other part about one of the reasons I think that he was still sitting there at pick 24, I think it was, in 2005. He was a Cal Bear at UC Cal Berkeley. Yeah. And Jeff Tedford was involved in that heavily as the coach. Like Jeff Tedford quarterbacks back then had not had a whole lot of success at the next level.
Yeah.
He was the guy that broke that.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing about him, though, too. Like, I didn't know a ton about A-Rod other than the fact that he could sling it. And, of course, looking at what Cal was, like, he went to all places, Cal. But as soon as he got into the NFL, I think it was very advantageous for him. And the same thing that he got done to him, he did to Jordan Love. He sat for 3 years, essentially, before he actually got the keys to the Green Bay franchise.
Yep.
I think that fueled him. It gave him more time to grow, and it just created, to me, I think, a monster, man. And from day one, he jumped out onto the scene. And you look at, like, I'll say this too, you look at his wide receiver crew that he's had. He's made more guys famous than I think almost any other quarterback. Tom Brady has played that role for a while too. But when you look at Devontae Adams out of nowhere, Randall Cobb from Kentucky, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson was an absolute terror down the field. He and Aaron Rodgers working together. And I think that right there spoiled Green Bay. They said, if you can go make it with these guys, why do we have to go get a first rounder? Who was Jordy before Aaron Rodgers got to him, or even Devontae Adams? Like, I know Devontae's solid now, But the way they kind of bred that relationship,
Yeah,
his
he hadn't
career,
cut his teeth at that point.
No, absolutely not. He made him a guy on top of his tight ends as well.
You're right, and I think that was if we're guessing, the front office's thoughts on this. Listen, for whether you like Aaron Rodgers or not, or whatever it is, whether you loved him in Green Bay and don't like him now, whatever that is, he's one of those guys that you could put on the roster, and he accounts for 5 to 6 wins on your football team every year.
He does.
And the Bradys and the Mannings, like you can go down the list of the guys who do that, and those are the ones that are the elite tier quarterbacks.
They are. And he's one of them, man. I'm just looking at his wide receiver list right now, though, too. Like Jermichael Finley also being one of those guys.
Michael Finley.
Alan Lazard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah.
Like, just look at his group. He made Romeo Dobbs into he got him a little bit in his final year. Like, this is just where he is. Greg Jennings, James Jones, Donald Driver. Like
Donald Driver was a 7th-round draft pick.
See what I'm saying? Like, he made career cases for those dudes and got them second contracts. That's what, to me, makes him great. That, to me, also shows a great quarterback as well. How many of your wide receivers did you get second deals? And each one of his I'll say this. I think he's got more stars that we didn't know about until they met him.
Do you know the last time the Packers drafted a first-round wide receiver before Matthew Golden last year?
02.
Yep, 02. They never drafted a first round.
Javon Walker from Florida State, right?
Yep. They never drafted a wide receiver in the first round while Aaron Rodgers was at the helm.
And I think every year that went through that, it just made him more jaded.
No doubt.
He's just mad about
it. It did. I've heard quarterbacks make that case privately to front offices like, I need help. And he was like, you're the greatest. You're one of the greatest ever. And to your point, whether you dislike him or not, Rhett, when he was in his prime, and I'm talking about prime Green Bay, Sunday night, Monday night football, he was fun to watch.
There's no question.
You can't deny that. As crazy as he is with the cave stuff, he was fun to watch.
He fit the narrative the league was looking for primetime elite quarterback matchup.
Absolutely.
Whoever they were playing, that was whatever that was. But it was a really good potential contender versus contender. There's no reason to understand why the ratings were what they were. Like, yes.
Speaking of ratings, I have a question for you guys.
Go.
The Pittsburgh Steelers will come to Nissan Stadium for the Titans' last home game of the regular season. Does that now become a potential primetime game?
I think so, personally. Last game in Nissan, especially if the Titans are sitting somewhere.
And that's a noon kick, isn't it?
It is currently a noon kick.
Yes.
The Titans only have 2 non-noon kicks, that is against the Raiders and the Jags later in the season.
7+ wins for the Titans? I think so. If you can get to that point.
I think it also depends on what Pittsburgh's doing down that stretch, too.
That's true.
Because if they're hammering through the AFC North, and
be dicey.
there's a couple of reasons why that could be a flex, and you could point to either team.
No doubt, there's a storyline on either side of it.
Yeah,
to your point.
And by the way, we should do this in my normal Wednesday visit. Like the schedule dropped a week ago today. We haven't discussed that, you and I. We're going to do that when we come back. Ramon and Will continues here on 104.5 The Zone.
When you start noticing cracks in the walls, uneven floors or driveways sinking and separating, it's more than a home issue. It's a peace of mind issue. That's why who you choose for foundation repair and concrete leveling, it really matters, y'all. I trust United Structural Systems because they've been doing this right since 1994, right here in Tennessee. USS doesn't believe in quick fixes or scare tactics at all. They take the time to inspect, explain what's happening, and walk through real proven solutions that are built to last. Whether your home needs foundation stabilization, crawl space repair, or concrete leveling for sinking sidewalks, patios, or driveways, USS uses engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not temporary patches. From the initial inspection to the final repair, USS, they listen, they educate you, they deliver results you can trust so you can feel confident your home is safe today and protected for the future. USS is also introducing 24 months no interest financing, good now through the end of June. So reach out to them, man. You can learn more or schedule your inspection at USSTN.com.
Rolling through hour one, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Rhett Bryan filling in for Will Bowling, who is tackling another day of state high school track championships up on the hill in Knoxville.
Yeah, Will really does that track stuff, man. Like, he knows it front and back.
He really does.
Yeah.
And, he didn't do it this year, but for his last handful of years, he's done the pin relays up north. And
he has.
He's done some sizable track events at the college and next level in this thing.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, last year he went out to California for a track meet as well.
He sure did.
Yeah,
he sure did. But yeah, so Will's on assignment. I'm filling in for him this morning on Friday Junior, Friday Eve, whatever you want to call it. Memorial Day is here, man. It snuck up on me.
I was thinking about doing a brisket this weekend.
I looked at brisket yesterday.
I'm thinking about it.
I don't know if I'm committed to that or not.
I feel like it. So, I end up getting a half a cow. So I got one.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I know.
Ramon's store is open for business.
It is, and I got to start smoking some of this meat at the house, too, man.
Yeah, because you don't want it to stay so long it gets freezer burnt and those kinds of things.
I tell you what, though.
You pay too much money for it.
The ground beef side of that half a cow, we've been using that a good bit, though, I must say.
Well, hey, that's what you bought it for, right?
I know. That one's been very beneficial right there.
So the NFL schedule for everybody, and most importantly, the Tennessee Titans, dropped a week ago tonight. And I haven't been on the show to discuss that with you since before it dropped last Wednesday, and thought I would just kind of let's banter back and forth about takeaways from this schedule. First of all, the thing that is interesting to me, and I heard you earlier this week, and if y'all listening, if you didn't hear Ramon earlier this week with Will, your 104.5 The Zone podcast or wherever you get your podcast, you can go back and hear that. But you had a valid point about just what the first month of this is for the Titans and importance. And somebody would just say, well, Ramon, that's elementary. That's simple. Like, okay, yeah, the first 4 weeks.
Right.
But when you look at who it is and where it is, and look, we've all learned that the first month of football is not super great because of the way the offseason is structured now and only 3 preseason games and limited padded practices. But you got an opportunity to try to get over the barrel right out of the gate in week one. And Robert Saleh sees his old team he was a head coach for in the New York Jets on Sunday, September the 13th with a noon kick on CBS, but always on Titans radio.
Yes, sir.
And then you have a back-to-backer there in week 2. You have the Philadelphia Eagles, noon kick as well. Week 3, you're at New York to take on the Giants. Brian Daboll really wants to win that game, just like he wants to win all of them. But that one, probably a little check mark by that one. And then in week 4, at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore to take on the Ravens, also a noon kick. And I like how you phrased it because – you've got 2 opponents in that first 4 in the Jets and the Giants that are in your boat. You're trying to crawl out of the hole. The last couple of years hadn't been kind to you.
Right.
And you're trying to show, hey, we did our draft correctly. We have bolstered the roster with free agents correctly. And you got a chance to get a couple of wins in the win column. And then you have 2 super duper tests in a recent world champion in the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens on the road.
No doubt, man. It is. I think this schedule has balance. I think there are winnable games for you with how the schedule is set up as far as you playing the last place teams. And that's where this Titans team's got to take advantage of it, Rhett, more than anything. You mentioned the first 4 weeks. I like this setup for the Titans schedule because you get the emotional games out the way. And then you get those teams like the Jets who are still trying to figure out their quarterback situation. You still got a new coaching staff with the New York Giants with Coach Harbaugh being up there too. So you can get to him before they get their steam and momentum rolling too and get the storylines done. Let's go play football is the way I look at the way this schedule is set up. The test after that, Baltimore, Houston, Indianapolis, like those first 4 set you up for weeks 5 and 6, which are divisional games for you.
Back-to-backers.
Back-to-backers. And that's where after you settle in, you figure out after that first month what you are. And you want to get out to a good start. If you can, man, be at 500 in the first 4, amazing place to be at. 1, you know how to win. 2, you've had numerous wins already during the season. And then it's a matter of where did you win those football games if you're trying to be a team that's in the graphic come November, December football.
So Cleveland you have at home prior to Halloween, I should say. November 1st at Cincinnati. So both Ohio teams in that span there. Then a bye week pretty much right down the middle. So that is where the schedule gods blessed you in that case. And then you have 5 road games after the bye week. You have 4 of those are division games of the remaining games in this. You got Jacksonville twice in 3 weeks after the bye. That happens. No more than 2 straight road games, but also no more than 2 straight home games. I think it's as a fair schedule to set you up for possible success as you could ask for. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm glad that the Titans didn't have an international game and don't have a primetime game as of yet. They need we're creatures of habit. They need all of the noon central kicks they can get.
Very much so. And just also, to the importance of how this schedule lays out that you brought up a second ago, like the test that you have after week 4 of having the divisional games going into it, you got to knock those out. And coming out of the bye, Jacksonville 2 times in 3 weeks, I think that is probably one of the best stretches that they have to capitalize over right there. Coming off the bye, a divisional opponent in Jacksonville, and then you go to Dallas. Dallas in itself is going to be a spectacle, okay, the week before Thanksgiving, and then you go back to Jacksonville again. You can really set yourself up to be in a good spot if you get one of the 2 games early in the season between the Texans and the Colts. You get one of those in weeks 5 and 6. I think that'll be beautiful and reset yourself up again to be in the graphic when it comes down to the division of the AFC South after the bye week. That is perfect rest, perfect setup to me.
And the other thing is, the schedule's a chameleon. It looks different right now than it'll look closer to the actual week 1 after the first 4 games. It's constantly moving. Sometimes teams you thought were good are opposite, and vice versa.
No doubt. Especially last year. Didn't expect, I don't think.
Murderer's row of defenses.
Yes, it was.
So that's what that is. All right, we're going to keep moving because we got a lot of cool stuff in hour 2 of Ramon and Will, including our play-by-play man of the Tennessee Titans, Taylor Zarza, joining us at 7:30 for a special announcement. But up next, we're going to go back over the press conference they had at Nissan Stadium to discuss the announcement of Super Bowl 63, I should. Is it 64?
64.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not using my brain this morning. 2030 at Nissan Stadium. There were some interesting moments in that. We'll get to that next as Ramon and Will continues on 104.5 The Zone.
7 o'clock. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. In Tennessee Titans news yesterday, the team announced that they have hired former NFL and Commanders executive Dave Gardy as their new executive vice president of football operations. Gardy will report to GM Mike Borgonzi, and he'll also oversee football administration, football strategy and analytics, football research, football information systems, video equipment, team operations, and security. Other NFL news yesterday, Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers announced that he will retire from the NFL after this season. The four-time MVP, 10-time Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl champion, Rodgers will play his 22nd and final NFL season with the Steelers this year. Western Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs last night, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 30 points, leading the Thunder past the Spurs 122-113. They evened the series up at one game apiece. And the Western Conference Finals in the NHL playoffs, Carter Hart made 36 saves as the Golden Knights steal Game 1 versus the Avalanche 4-2. And both Tennessee and Vanderbilt's SEC baseball tournament journey has ended. The Vols lost 8-4 to Arkansas, and the Commodores lost 8-3 to Florida yesterday. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
It is indeed Ramon and Will, hour 2 on a Thursday with Rhett Bryan here filling in for Will Bowling. Ramon Foster, the 11-year NFL vet, VFL, sitting right across from me in this bad boy. You can follow along, watch along, whatever, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. The chat is open and rolling. And here we go. Let's talk about, before we get to the bottom of the hour, and our friend and the play-by-play voice of your Tennessee Titans, Taylor Zarzour, joins us for a special announcement. Let's talk about what was the mega press conference in most Nashvillians and Tennesseans alike, because you're a native Tennessean.
Yes, sir.
At the Super Bowl 64 is coming to Nashville, Tennessee, new Nissan Stadium, probably February the 16th or 23rd, whatever it is, in 2030. And lots of dignitaries there on stage and many, many other folks in the audience at the West Club of Nissan Stadium. One of the cool moments in this, to me, Ramon, was early on in the press conference. Jim Nantz, the great Jim Nantz, was the MC for this, and he just... It was so good. We played part of that yesterday morning.
No doubt.
It was the perfect narrative for all of this.
What a pull, too, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's Nashville for you, and he lives in Nashville and has for some time now. He turned the floor over to Madison Dismukes, who is a flag football player. She is a flag football player. I think she's a sophomore at Hillsborough High. Yeah. Listen to what she says right here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Madison Dismukes, and I'm a junior at Hillsborough High School, and I play flag football. I first started playing flag football because I wanted to try something new in high school, but it quickly became something I fell in love with. Since then, the sport has given me leadership opportunities and experiences I had never imagined, including receiving 12 college offers to continue playing flag football at the next level.
How about that?
That's good stuff.
The NFL.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that, Jayhawk. I forgot continue playing that. I forgot.
And the Tennessee Titans creating opportunities for girls flag football here in Tennessee has changed so many lives, including mine. The Titans have hosted a lot of events for girls flag football that have helped me meet new people and learn many new things. They create opportunities, support growth, and make a positive difference for us both on and off the field. When girls flag football first started in Tennessee, there were only 60 players. Now there are over 1,500 girls playing across the state. That growth shows how important these opportunities are and how much the sport is growing every day. With a global event like the Super Bowl coming to Nashville, I can only imagine how much bigger the impact could become. More girls would be inspired to play, more opportunities would be created, and even more young athletes will get the chance to experience everything the sport has to offer for us. Thank you all for having me here today.
How about that?
That's big time. And that's big time.
That is what we were hoping, and we were talking about with what Nashville is like post-Super Bowl. The NFL has made its mark in every city it's in, including Nashville, Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee, and the state of Tennessee.
No doubt.
But the Titans were instrumental a few years ago in starting girls' flag football leagues all over the Mid-South. And that is a prime example. That young lady has 12 offers to go play flag football at the next level. That is a big time. And that's the second one I've heard in the last couple of weeks with, this being graduation season for high school students. That's a thing.
Yeah,
and what a great opportunity for her.
No doubt about it, man. I love it because, again, I think that game is, to your point, it's gender fluid. Who can play it? Everybody can play it, different size, different shapes. And like, the thing is, you need the jerseys, the flags, and a ball. Like, you don't need equipment. You don't need anything else. Heck, as long as the team can raise some money to get you some turf shoes or some cleats, it is by far one of the best sports high schools could have incorporated. Shout out to TSSAA. Shout out to the Titans for bringing it here in Nashville and then just in Tennessee. And here's the thing about it. These young ladies are intense about it, too. I think this is taking off harder and farther than the guys, than the boys have, man. I've coached flag football, and I'll tell you this much. I've lost my voice. It is fun. I think every kid, and now especially with the light being brought to the young ladies, every kid should be available to play flag football if they choose to.
Well, let's go a couple things here. First of all, the old head in me, like, it used to be, it's like homecoming week in high school, you had a powder puff game, and the girls would go at it.
Yeah.
And then there have been flag football things, but not of this established nature and growth.
Yeah.
And now you have the Olympics getting involved with having Olympic flag football in coming games, summer games.
Yes.
So it's a huge deal, and what a great opportunity for young ladies that want to show their athletic prowess in all this and get opportunity.
I met one of the international stars this past fall when I went down to Mexico City. She was an international star is an international star for flag football from Mexico City. The NFL, of course, brings her to the United States, her and her team, and they compete, man. It is one of the coolest, I think, fastest growing sports. I thought soccer was fast growing here in the United States.
Don't sleep on flag football.
Absolutely not. And again, I say this. It is, if your child is thinking about playing tackle football, do a year of flag minimum before they go put the pads on. That's all I suggest to parents. Get the flag football in them so they can understand how quick the game is, the movement, body separation, what the rules of the sport are
you
as well.
You can't manufacture experience.
You can't. Exactly.
Yeah.
Flag football is so awesome.
One of the other folks that spoke at this press conference to announce Super Bowl 64 coming to Nashville was Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell. And here he is on Nashville being ready.
Yeah.
Before the game, we'll demonstrate that we're ready, everything from infrastructure to traffic. And after the game, we'll show that the city was better off because we're great hosts and a great place to live. That means we're investing in neighborhoods, supporting small and minority-owned businesses, creating opportunity for local workers. And as we work alongside the Titans and the NFL in the years leading up to 2030, we'll continue to focus on making sure the benefits of hosting the Super Bowl reach the people who make Nashville work every day. The hotel workers welcoming guests, the bus drivers moving people across our city, the sanitation workers, public safety personnel, servers, musicians, stage crews, and countless others whose work will power this event from beginning to end. Because Nashville's greatness isn't a building or a brand, it's the people who show up every day and make the city run.
Mm-hmm.
The measure of success won't just be what visitors think about Nashville for one weekend. It'll be whether the people who live here feel like Nashville worked for them too. I know our home NFL team, the Titans, also strongly believe in this mission. Their investment through their One Community platform is unprecedented. And the NFL's programs like Business Connect and the Super Bowl Legacy Grant Program will help ensure the success of the Super Bowl is felt in our city long after the big game has ended.
There's Mayor Freddie O'Connell. And sorry, Mayor, because we're moving on time here.
This is big for him.
Well, and here's the thing. We talked about infrastructure and traffic and those things yesterday. Listen, there's no magical wand you can wave to fix everything. But I also want to, in fairness, say this has been going on for a long time to get ready for this moment that has happened this week. There's a lot of things in place. I mentioned yesterday there's $10.25 billion in infrastructure projects that are in full tilt mode to get ready for this kind of thing, like the expansion of the Better Nashville Airport, Nashville International Airport, and just, things they're doing all over the city in arrival of this news.
No doubt. And shout out to Mayor Freddie O'Connell, too, for expanding more on, the city, the people of Nashville that make this make this happen right here more than anything, man. How Nashville operates, how people can just be themselves here. But he also brought up to the people who service everybody that will be coming into town, that makes Nashville acceptable and just want it to, one of those places that you want to come to.
It takes a village.
It does take a lot of that,
It's going to
man.
take a lot more than that, too.
It's going to take, and he brought those people up, man. Of course, the hotel workers and everybody else that will be involved into making this a very hospitable visit for everybody that comes into the city.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, more reaction and thoughts and takeaways from yesterday's press conference about Super Bowl 64 in 2030 at new Nissan Stadium from the former governor, Bill Haslam, and a really cool moment that I think was really neat in all of that. We'll get to that, and then a special announcement at the bottom of the hour with Taylor Zarzer, your Tennessee Titans play-by-play man, as we continue on Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Ramon and Will rolls on hour 2, 104.5 The Zone. I'm Rhett Bryan, filling in for Will Boulding. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Taylor Zarzer, your play-by-play man of your Tennessee Titans, joins us for a special announcement with Ramon Foster right here. Justin Hawkins behind the glass, making it all happen. Yesterday was the massive press conference announcement in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. That new Nissan Stadium in February of 2030 will host Super Bowl 64. Another takeaway from this, and I go to former Governor Bill Haslam, who is the chairman of the board of Music City Major Events Incorporated. They're the ones in crowdsourcing, raising funds, whatever, for how the cost of this is taken care of and navigating through all that. Here's Bill Haslam on for every sports fan, non-sports fan, I should say, that listened and watched that press conference or saw the news as to why Nashville is a Super Bowl city.
Oh, there's some folks that are saying, well, I'm not a football fan, and I think why is the city even doing this? Why are we making this a priority? We have so many needs. Well, it's actually, there's a really good answer to that. In Tennessee, the way we pay teachers more and the way that we help people with mental health issues and the way that we build more affordable housing is we pay for all that through sales tax. And when the world comes to Nashville, we collect more sales tax, and then we can pay teachers more, and we can help more with all those other critical issues. It's why Commissioner Rozelle and others worked so hard to bring tourists here. So there really is a bigger purpose in all this. We want to have a great game here and welcome the world here, but there's more that's going to happen because of this. And thank you for being a part of that. And then the third thing is,
all right, we can drop it right there. That's Bill Haslam, former governor of Tennessee and chairman of the board of Music City Major Events Incorporated, to explain some of the things that will happen as a result of one of the biggest games in the history of the world, certainly North America, being right here in our backyard.
It's exactly as he said, though, too. I think that's why teams or cities bid for the Super Bowl as well. It's not just a team component, it's a city component. That's why you're seeing so many people that are on the Super Bowl committee be non-football people. That's why you heard him right there. Also, speak about the non-football fans understanding why this is a big deal, too. Like the amount of money that'll be spent here, the amount of bars that will be booked out for not just a week, but possibly 2 weeks, it helps the economy. It helps pay teacher. It helps, just set a precedent moving forward that, look, if you want a big event, we could do it here, but you're also going to pay us back by allowing us to tax you and get more money out of it. So I like the approach. I can understand the frustration from some as well.
Sure.
But there's a benefit to it in the end.
There are dividends in
no
this
doubt.
that many will benefit from, that need it, quite frankly.
For sure.
Bill Haslam, I think, is the co-chair of the Super Bowl committee in this stuff. Jim Nance is the other. But you're talking about non-football people involved in those things, like Eric Church,
absolutely,
world-famous country music star, is on that. Nate Bargatze, Old Hickory, Tennessee native and world-famous comedian.
Some
big
influence
profile.
I was going to say some influence had to be had with this as well.
One of the other cool things that I took away from this press conference yesterday is, Dina Ivey and Jim Nance introduced her. That she was the engine that made this thing drive. She's the president and CEO of the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corp. And she had her time at the podium. She shared a moment because, she talked about Nashville being able to and ready and made to host a Super Bowl because of the events like the 4th of July celebration, which she said there'll be 400,000 people downtown this 4th of July. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's top 3 of biggest ones in the country.
Well, now New Year's Eve celebration is kind of gone.
And there's that event they handle, CMA Fest and CMA Week. And all the things they normally, and then she mentioned the 2019 NFL draft, and she shared a video that she had taken. She said, it's a grainy 2019 iPhone, but up on the top of the roof, right there near the stage. Yeah. And here it is after night 1 of the draft. Tim McGraw, and it's late, is playing, and his hit, Live Like You Were Dying, was playing, and he stopped. And a whole sea of people going up Broadway. I went skydiving. Like they were. It was a total vibe.
Right
and
there.
she goes, that's Nashville.
Yeah, it is.
That's when this will be. I mean, they're bold. They're putting out. It's going to be the greatest Super Bowl presentation and halftime show and all. And I believe it because
No doubt.
Nashville's proven before they can pull off a party.
Well, here's the other part of it, though, too. When you're I ain't gonna say you're begging for this, but you're asking for the ability to be a part of this elite club of premier cities that host this. Roger Goodell said it yesterday. You chased the bus and now you caught it. Now you have the ability to ride the bus as one of those cities that's getting it. If you hear us, and I would say people probably be like, we're done with the Super Bowl talk. But here's the thing. If you do this right, as it boils down to hosting the Super Bowl, and it is bigger and it is better, then the seriousness that people take Nashville as a mid-major city, I think it changes. I think you start to put yourself at least in the conversation for entertainment. In the world of, I would say, New Orleans, I think the way they utilize Phoenix, I think the way they utilize Atlanta, Nashville has the ability to do it, so they have to oversell is the way I'm looking at it. They have to put themselves in a position where they pressurize this moment to go out and execute it as best as anybody's ever done, and that's what they're claiming to do right now with this.
And they'll
this
get it
setup of
done.
it.
I do believe they'll get it done.
They have to.
Just because Nashville's been the it city for quite a while now.
For sure.
And like I said, they know how to host and have a party.
No doubt. Absolutely.
On the way, we're going to take a break. On the way on Ramon and Will, we are joined by Taylor Zarzer, the voice of your Tennessee Titans, the play-by-play man, with a very special announcement. All of that is right ahead on a Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon and Will rolling with the Reverend Al Green on 104.5 The Zone. 7:31, midway through hour 2 of the program. Rhett Bryan filling in for Will Bowling. Ramon Foster right here beside me like he always does and is. And here is Taylor Zarzer of your Tennessee Titans. Good morning, sir.
I'm in the building. I got Slay Dog's microphone
yes,
here.
You do. So
yeah, I did
channeling your Slay Dog.
I did move his chair out of the way. That's a big chair.
That's a big chair. It is. That's his chair.
Fella.
Yes, for a big fella.
That's his chair.
But great to be with you guys. Man, we have a lot of momentum right now going on in the city of Nashville and with the Tennessee Titans, and it's exciting to talk about.
So just thinking about that, I was thinking about, Governor Bill Lee talking about sitting in the stands with his kids and his mom and like how the Music City Miracle unfolded. Like, you get nostalgic and thinking about these things. But I just think about this time of window of time 30 years ago. It was vote NFL yes to have a referendum, bring the team here. And then what is going to be Super Bowl 64 in February of 2030 is almost to the day 30 years from when they appeared in Super Bowl 34 in Atlanta, Georgia against the Rams.
Yeah, I was with another lifelong Middle Tennessean yesterday, Brant Snedeker, of course, just won on the PGA Tour a couple weeks ago. And Sneds was saying, I look, he was like, I was in the stands at Vanderbilt Stadium when the Tennessee Oilers played in Vanderbilt Stadium, and the Tennessee Titans, of course, and then they go to at that point, the new Nissan Stadium, and you fast forward to now, and now we're getting a Super Bowl. It's just incredible to see what has happened in Nashville, Tennessee, since the town you grew up in to the town it is today and how it's exploded. And there's a whole lot of pride right now in our community that we're getting the Super Bowl, the big party that our boy Marty Smith hosted last night on Broadway, just celebrating what we're about to do. It is. It's an exciting time. And this isn't the only thing we're going to get, folks. The biggest event in college basketball, I think, is going to be announced in the next couple of years. Yeah. The biggest event in college football, I think, is going to be announced in the next couple of years. As a big golf guy, I think the PGA Tour is coming to Nashville. I mean, I think this is just the beginning, really.
It's a literal game changer.
It is.
It is. It changes everything. And it's one of the best towns in America. We've known that forever. And we'll hold on to who we are, but it's pretty cool that we get to share it now with the world.
Absolutely. And how cool would it be with the trajectory that we all believe the Tennessee Titans are moving in the direction of? And that would be the third year in new Nissan Stadium at that point. What if we were calling a game and the Titans radio booth and the Titans were the home team in their home stadium for Super Bowl 60? I mean, it's possible.
Nothing would top sitting next to you, Rhett Bryan, in our booth, calling the Tennessee Titans, playing in Super Bowl 64 in Nashville, Tennessee. And Ramon Foster, I'd like to invite you to join us and do that with us and be the analyst for the Tennessee Titans on the radio moving forward.
Taylor, I accept. I accept, man. Publicly, I accept, man. I appreciate this extension. One thing I've learned in this business, and I do mean business, I say this all the time, man. The game is what we play, is what provides for everybody, the beauty of it, the joy and misery it gives us on game day sometimes. On Sundays, I say Mondays, I say Thursdays, and now we incorporate Friday and Saturday in it as well, as the league has grown so much, man. It's interconnected. Every person knows somebody in a different city, NFL city. There have been connections with players that I've played with on other squads, coaches I've known from college that come up to the NFL, or just personalities and people in radio world that do this thing that we do as well to keep this monster, this beast, the number one thing in America, as hot as it is. And I'm appreciative of this. Starting out in 2020 when I came to 104.5, God, I feel like I'm choking up a little bit.
It's a big moment, Ramon.
I know. Coming into this thing when I retired in 2019, right before the pandemic hit, I was planning on taking a year off. Like, I'm not going to do anything. I remember it was March 8th, 2020, before the world shut down. And I'm saying to myself, I'm going to take a year off and figure out what's next. And I get a call, of course, I've kind of told this story before, and I'm back working at the Zone here in August of 2020. And I've been here riding this wave of being in the media for such a long time as a retired player. And the growth, the heartache that I've had of trying to figure out how to do this the right way, and then catching my stride a little bit and being welcomed in by former voice of the Titans, Mike Keefe, to do sidelines. Didn't see that coming. And I'm just, doing my job. I love the game. I love the NFL. I love college. I love football. And to get that experience, and lo and behold, found myself from August of 2020 to now May of 2026 being in the booth with Taylor and Rhett. And we got other announcements as well of people that will be joining us as we redo, I guess, Titans Radio for the legacy that it has right now. It's a privilege. It is something that I don't take lightly. It is something that, if you know me and you know my love for the game of football, you know I'll take it serious and do it as professional as it needs to be done. I've been here in this state. Love the state. I'm from West Tennessee, played college ball in East Tennessee, and I dwell here with my family in Middle Tennessee right now. The beauty of watching this state grow, watching this Titans fan base grow, and just the NFL in general has been nothing short of amazing to me. It's provided so much for myself, the experiences, the friendships, the partnerships with everyone right now. And I don't take it lightly. I understand the conversation of my previous employment. Like, yes, I play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you are in the NFL, you're going to have a different team and connections at different places. Y'all know that's where I laid my head and created my career that allowed this to happen. But I'm here to tell you this. My job, my purpose is to make sure that I elevate this radio network, this radio brand, the brand of the Titans, as best I can, to paint verbal pictures to you guys that choose to listen to us on game day, and provide myself to this community and be a part of it even more so. And here's the other part of it, though, too, for me. Leaving Vol Network wasn't easy for me. That crew, Mike Keefe, Brent Hubbs, Brad, Phil, Larry Stone, Jason Swain, the entire crew, Ashley, just everybody involved in Vol Network, Glenn Thaxton, Brandon Parks, Alicia, just the whole crew, the coaching staff in Knoxville, man, they were very open, very appreciative to me, because that is home for me as well. I bled and for that university, got hurt for that university. So making this move wasn't an easy one for me. Family played a part in this. Logistics played a part in it. But again, I want to reiterate a huge thank you to them. The university, Mike, for bringing me under, trusting me. When he asked me to come in 2023 to do sidelines, it was out of left field. My relationships I built with him, Rhett, and, most importantly, Coach Mack, and learning how to do this, what he meant to the Titans, to Tennessee, and just to the NFL in general. Mack was the man. Everybody got a Mackism somewhere. And to be stepping in behind him, as much as I learned from him, grew from him, and respected Coach Mack and loved the man, I'll be sure to hold up my end of the bargain. And every lesson that he's somewhat given me, I'll be sure to bring it to the broadcast as well. I'm not Mack. Taylor's not Mike. Rhett, you've been a steady Eddie in this whole entire process, man. And I know we're going to lean on you in certain situations, but we're going to make sure that Titans Radio is above board in everything that we do and grow this thing to as big as you guys allow us to.
Ramon, I was going to ask you, what does it mean to you? But that's out the window because you've just explained that eloquently.
I get long-winded at times.
No. This is your moment.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought up Dave McGinnis.
Yeah.
Because you know what that meant to me. That man meant to me and to this organization, to Titans Radio, to Taylor, to all of us. He reached so many people. And that's the thing that is bittersweet about this, because I still wanted Dave McGinnis to be in that booth with us. That was, Coach Mack was always the plan.
No doubt. Until
Coach Mack decided he didn't want to be the plan, right?
Yeah.
And his health took a turn for the worse in the spring of this year, and things got different pretty quick, and difficult conversations had to be had. And so that's why I pivot to you, Taylor, in Ramon has built.
Oh, my bad too. Real quick, Amy Wells. I'm so sorry. Let me make sure that. Yeah.
We're gonna give her flowers.
I know. We will. We got a section for her, but I need to personally mention her before I go on. Amy Wells, my dog. Like, that's the homie. Okay, just so you know too. And We'll speak more on her in a second, but I didn't want to go forward without me saying a huge thank you to her for how much she's helped me too. That's my humble Hendersonville native now as well as my neighbor.
Your neighbor.
But yeah, major shout out to Amy as well.
I know she appreciates that.
Ramon has carved out a path, and every opportunity he's crushed.
Yes.
And so for the organization's part of this, how did we get to this moment with Ramon and this announcement?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, as you said about Coach Mack, his situation was private, and that's the way that he wanted it. That's the way we wanted to keep it. And we were hoping beyond hope that Coach Mack would still be with us. And we wanted to have Coach Mack do something for us moving forward, whatever he could do for us. But as it became clear that Coach Mack was going to have to do a different role for us, Amy and I and the rest of the Titans organization had to start talking about what our next steps to sit there in the booth and be our analyst. And as we went through that process, it was obvious to us, for a lot of the reasons Ramon just went into, that a lifelong Tennessean, that a guy that has already worked for the Titans on our sidelines for a couple of years, that just sat in the chair as an analyst for the Vols last year, is our guy. He is already a member of our team. He's already a member of our family. Coach Mack adores him, loves him. We all love Ramon. He's done such great work for us in the draft the last couple of years. He's our guy, and it's obvious that he's our guy. And it's going to be obvious to all Titans fans that he is the guy to do this. We are going to have so much fun doing this broadcast together, but he is beyond qualified to do it. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Amy, because Amy was vital in bringing you on board to be our analyst. And I'm so grateful that she helped make this happen. But I appreciate what you said about Coach Mack too. And we miss him terribly. We are going to honor him. I'm wearing a shirt right now that says Titans Radio on it. And on the side of it, it has Mack's name on it. And all of us are going to honor him. And your relationship with him was as close as all of ours was. And man, he would be so proud of you, Ramon.
I promise you, he's smiling from wherever right now. He would, because he thought so much of you, and he would talk about what a rock star you are in a short window. Like you said, 6 years, but think about this. All this has happened, but you've put in the reps. And he always talks about you can't manufacture experience. You got those opportunities. You kept building. He knew that. He recognized it, and he would be very proud.
It's funny all y'all say that. I'm over here just doing work, and everybody knew, and I'm just clueless as to what was going on in this entire process.
It was an extensive process, and it was obvious that you were our guy, but it was an extensive process, and we thought long and hard about the decisions that we were making. And one of the decisions that we're making, I believe, that is with us now from on assignment in Knoxville, Tennessee, is my man Will Bowling, who we need more of in 2026 with Titans Radio. So we have to bring him up to the booth. He was our sideline reporter last year. He is going to be our game day host for Titans Radio. He's going to host our pregame and halftime coverage. He's going to have a lot to do in-game as well. And he's in the booth with us now for an increased role with Titans Radio in 2026. How you feel about that, Will Bowling?
Congratulations, Will.
Let's do it. Come on, boys. How are we doing? It is so good to be here. It is so exciting, the next steps for Titans Radio. First of all, I am so excited for Ramon, who is going to absolutely crush it. I'm so excited to have you on the road with us. I'm so excited to have someone to stress watch Tennessee games on Saturday. But I am most excited for what we are going to do on NFL Sundays on Titans Radio. We are going to have so much fun. I am not keeping my powder dry in Coach Mack's words, because I am so excited today about what is to come, guys.
I think he would allow that,
Taylor,
too.
Yeah, I think he absolutely would. I think he would give a Titan the hell up right about now as well. I'm probably not the last one that'll be given this segment, but it's such an honor to represent the Tennessee Titans organization, and it's an honor to continue the legacy in the bar that has been set on Titans Radio for so many years. Rhett Bryan, you have been a part of that since the beginning. Taylor Zarzer, you saw what that was like from day one when you got here last season. I got to see it too, and day in and day out. We're excited to build and do more in 2026 with the big ragu in the booth. I am
That's right.
beyond excited. We have got an awesome, awesome team put together.
No, not yes.
No doubt.
Hell yes.
That's it.
As Coach Mack would say, yes.
Let me say this about Will, too. If you tuned into Titans radio coverage of the NFL draft in the last few weeks, you heard what Will is very, very capable of in bringing information,
Yes,
statistics, trends, scores, stats. Will studies. Will puts in the
he's
work.
good
The
at it,
prep
man.
is there.
Will has a chance to be Jim Nantz. Will has a chance to be one of the great broadcasters in our country. I have so much admiration for him. I think he does an outstanding job hosting this program with Ramon each day, and to have both of you guys, Ramon and Will, as part of Titans Radio every game is something that I am super excited about. But I am a massive fan of Will's, and to have him in the booth doing more for us in the booth this year and really anchoring our coverage around the actual game is something that I'm super excited about. So thank you, my friend. Thank you for coming on your own show to help us.
While the fair to middle fill-in host does a job over here.
No, you're doing great.
To help make this announcement.
I appreciate that. And I just want to say real quick on Ramon, if you guys give me 30 seconds.
Go.
I hear so much on and off air when I get to Cumulus Nashville in the mornings about Ramon Foster coming to me from a different youth sporting event, because he's at them every single day. And Ramon is in our community. He is at baseball fields. He is at football fields. He is at tracks, saying, man, I just met somebody and they love our show. Like, oh, man, had to just come up to you. That is a testament to Ramon Foster's ability to embed himself in this Middle Tennessee community. And I hear it all the time when people will recognize me or my voice, and they recognize me as the guy that sits next to Ramon Foster. And I love being recognized as just the guy that gets to hang out with Ramon, because Ramon is beloved in Middle Tennessee. I hear it all the time. I know Taylor and Rhett, you guys hear it all the time as well, just being in the community. There is no one in this market who cares more about Middle Tennessee and about making Middle Tennessee better, about connecting Titans fans better than Ramon Foster. And I am so excited for you to put on the two-tone blue with us, to put Coach Mack's name on your sleeve with us for this fall as well. I'm excited to travel around the country and talk Titans football, and I know you are too.
For sure.
Thank you for making my job so easy, 6 to 10 every morning, and preemptively making all of our jobs very easy on NFL Sundays as well.
Okay, well, that was more than 30 seconds.
I know.
You're tighten up, man. I just got chills.
You're
I'm just an
filibustering.
audience member now. I'm done.
Well, we love you, pal. Great job. I know we have more to say here.
We do.
People may wonder, okay, so Will's leaving the sidelines and going to the booth. What does that mean for the sidelines for the Tennessee Titans radio network? Who will be on the sidelines as our sideline reporter? Well, in the last year of Nissan Stadium, wouldn't it be appropriate to have some of the greatest Titans of all time on the sidelines? Like Brad Hopkins, Ben Jones, Mark Mariani.
Yes, sir.
And starting the season in our first regular season home game, how about the man responsible for the greatest play in the history of the Tennessee Titans? Kevin Dyson
Yes, sir.
will be our sideline reporter to begin the regular season. Dr. Dice, I believe, is joining us live
He is. He's
right
with
now.
us right now.
Morning,
Hey.
Dice.
Tighten up,
Hey,
Kevin
good
Dyson.
Morning. Hey, good morning, fellas. First of all, Ramon Will, man, congratulations. Well deserved, man. And I'm happy to see an old school AFC Central dude trade that yellow towel for these two-tone blues. I'm just gonna throw that out there for you, Ramon. You know.
I understand the rivalry. I understand the rivalry, Dice, and I love it. We need healthy rivalries, man. That means you're good.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all, man. But I'm excited, man. This is new to me. It's a new adventure for me, doing sideline reporting, man. I've always been more on the analytical side of things, and I get to be there on the sideline, boots on the ground, and be a part of this transition from Nissan 0.1 to Nissan 2.0. So
There it is.
I'm excited. KD,
here's the thing. Don't sell yourself short. You have been doing an excellent job on local pre and post for many, many years on the flagship of your Titans 104.5 The Zone. You have reps. Okay, maybe you don't have reps as sideline, but you played in the league. You've done radio for quite a long time. I think you will be just fine. You are always a quick study. I mean, you're a doctor, man. You're Dr. Kevin Dyson. Come on, man.
Hey, man, it's the competition thing that we, Mona attests to it, man. You just, if you really put value into it and really want to be successful at something, man, you put the little bit of the work into it. You put the work in, and I've been fortunate that Cumulus and 104.5 and Titans Radio has kept me around this long, let me kind of be a part of the team still.
We might have to have you streak down the sideline in that first game at some point, but I love listening to you after games and driving back home, listening to you on the post-game show. You do an outstanding job. Red is right, and you will be awesome in this role, bringing the experience and your wisdom and what it's like to live this. You've lived this, and we're going to bring that out of you on the radio, Dice. So we really appreciate you, man.
Well, I thank you, man. And by the way, the 50-year-old me is not parading down that sideline. I'm going to tell you, the 25-year-old me that y'all saw in 2000.
You went 75 yards, KD. What could you go right now at 50?
Oh, I go 75, but just how I get there.
Okay, there it is.
It'll take him a minute. Yeah, that's understandable.
At least you're a realist about it, Dyson, man. I found myself working out with my boys yesterday, slightly pulled my hamstring. No biggie. 40, let me know if 40 is here, okay?
That's right.
Oh, it'll let you know real quick. I was doing that last summer with my son. I was just doing footwork drills with him, jogging, and my hamstring said, no, sir. I said, yeah.
It got me too, man. It got me too. Dice, man, I'm glad to be working with you, man. I'm sure I'm going to lean on you and vice versa as we plan this broadcast for the fall. And the cool part is we can just come to you on football stuff and just rap a little bit if there's something
that's
that you've
exactly
seen
right.
That's the beauty of it as well, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Ron. I'm always good for a conversation, Ron, and we've talked over the years and just about football life and just adjustments, man. It's part of it. The fraternity goes beyond locker rooms. I made a joke about the Steelers and things of that nature, but their bond goes beyond
for sure
the playing against each other, man. There's a kinship that we had that a lot of people don't necessarily understand. They get to watch, they get to feel it, and they can empathize with it, but the ones that's truly been there, they wake up, the back hurts, the knees hurt, the fingers hurt, the head hurts, they can't remember where they put the keys, like all the things that come with playing that sport, man. There's only a few people that get to understand that. And would I change anything that I have happened to me from my times playing to now? Absolutely not, because it made me the person I am today.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Kevin Dyson, congratulations. We will see you very soon. And thanks for joining us this morning, buddy. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations, y'all.
Same.
All right. Have a good one.
I'm so fired up about that. Starting the regular season with Kevin Dyson.
Man.
Titans, Jets on the sideline for us. And as I said, we'll have several other Titans legends that have played for the Titans that'll be on the sidelines with us. Brad Hopkins, man,
Yes,
I'm pumped
sir.
to have him.
Super pumped.
Mark Mariani and Ben Jones. We have some fun things that we're going to do with Titans legends on the sidelines.
You know what I noticed?
This year.
You got a thing for big guys, man. Myself, Brad.
I like to surround
Ben
myself.
Jones.
If I get myself in trouble, there you go, Will. If I get myself in trouble, I know you'll help me out. Yeah, there
it
it
just
is.
proves
That's right.
to get offensive linemen are the smartest guys on the fields besides quarterbacks. That's all that does.
That's right. Yeah. Well, you mentioned Amy Wells earlier, and Amy earlier this week made the announcement that she has some new adventures here in Nashville that I'm sure she'll tell everybody about in great detail. I'm super excited for her and what she's going to be doing here in town. It was a bit emotional, though, because we have really leaned on her and Titans Radio, especially in the last year. And I am so grateful to her for all the help that she has given us through this process. And she's not going anywhere. She's still coming to all the Titans games.
Yeah.
She's still very much a member of our Titans Radio family, but she will be working in town, and we're excited about what she has going on. But she was vital in this process, and I am super grateful to her. And we're not done, by the way. There's some more that we're going to say in the weeks and months to come about some of the fun things that we're going to be doing in terms of broadcast content for your Tennessee Titans. It's all about serving the fan, and Titans fans want great entertainment. They want great insight, and we're going to bring them that this year with Titans Radio.
Titans Radio has a foundation of that, and now we're going to put a new coat of paint on things and maybe knock out a wall and put in a new kitchen and, all those kinds of things. But, yeah, we still want to deliver the absolute best product we can deliver to those who love and care about the football team that we cover.
Yes. Well, you are going to hear passion when you hear this broadcast.
Sure.
If anything, maybe at times a little too much passion because I get fired up. And you're going to hear me getting really fired up about this improved Tennessee Titans team that is going to take the field in 2026. And you're going to hear Ramon going crazy about them too. And Rhett Bryan, we might have to move some furniture around for you.
You might.
The late, as Joseph Bonanno, a.k.a. Zeph, I know is listening right now, but Coach Mack, one of my favorite moments ever with him was when you almost blew up the entire booth, Rhett.
In
Cleveland, Ohio, and took your headset with you to the bathroom.
And half the equipment.
And all the equipment, too.
Nature called. I had to answer.
I can hear Coach Mack up above us right now, grinning from ear to ear about Ramon Foster being the analyst, but I can also hear him saying, "Hey, Taylor, you remember when Rhett tried to blow up the booth in Cleveland, Ohio?" I can hear him right now saying that. Yes, he would be. He'd be so excited about it. All of this right here.
No
Will,
doubt.
thank you for checking in and congratulations. Taylor, thank you for coming in to share these announcements. Ramon, congratulations.
Appreciate it,
it's
man.
going to be fun. And Amy Wells and Mac, we love you very much.
For sure.
We do.
Tighten the hell up.
Let's
Absolutely.
go, baby.
On the way, hour 3 of Ramon and Will, right here on 104.5 The Zone.
8:03, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Breaking news this morning on 104.5 The Zone. Our very own Ramon Foster just announced as the next color analyst for Titans Radio, joining play-by-play announcer Taylor Zarzer in the booth this fall. Ramon becomes the fourth color analyst in Titans Radio history, joining Pat Ryan, Frank Wycheck, and the late Dave McGinnis. Congratulations to the Big Ragu. In other Titans news yesterday, the team announced that they have hired former NFL and Commanders executive Dave Gardy as their new executive vice president of football operations. Gardy will report to GM Mike Borgonzi and oversee numerous football operations. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go in hour 3. Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Rhett Bryan filling in for Will Bowling as he is in Knoxville doing some state high school track championships on assignment. Ramon Foster is right here where he should be. I mean, it's his first name on the show. I mean, Justin Hawkins back there behind the glass making everything happen. Congratulations.
Appreciate that, my brother.
The new color analyst for Titans Radio. And I will reiterate, Coach Mack is smiling.
For sure.
He is very proud because he always thought so much of you. I mean, listen, he loved the players of the league, especially the ones that played for him. And game recognizes game. And he knew you, as he would say, he knows you're a grinder.
Yeah.
And he knows your talent. And he would be smiling right now.
No doubt.
And be proud.
From my understanding, one of the first things I asked before we take calls was to Amy Wells. I asked her, I was like, as we knew Mac was about to expire, and their plans were, of conversations around this was when they considered me, I asked Amy, I said, does Mac know? It was one of the first questions I wanted to ask her. We went and saw Mac before. We all went up there and had an awesome time with Coach Mac. Man, he laughed, he joked. He had a real good day that day, and that was special to me. To you guys, I know for sure. Savage was in there. Will was in there as well.
Chuck Cecil was in there.
Chuck Cecil was in there. I mean, we ran across Jeff Fisher, of course, stayed up there for the most part as well. Yeah. Coach Jeff Fisher. And it was cool because, like I said, one of the main things I wanted to ask, everybody around this conversation to me, being a color analyst, is does Mac know? Is Mac okay with this? And Amy told me after I talked, Mac knows he's good with this. And that, to me, that made it easy right there,
Well, and to Taylor's point last hour, Mac's a very private person. And that's why so many were shocked to hear that he had passed.
Yeah.
And a lot of I can't tell you, I've had hundreds of people reach out to me, phone call, text, whatever, or just in passing. I had no idea he was sick. Well, that was the whole point, because that was his wishes. And when you get into that, like I said earlier, Mac was always the plan, and then his health dictated something different. So we were looking at a Mac Light program, load management for him, because we ain't never going to turn him away from this franchise. He was an ambassador for it, as good as anybody has been in a long, long, long time. And then when his health and his body gave out, there had to be some difficult discussions. But yeah, I you know how much I miss the man. You miss him.
Sure.
We all miss him.
No doubt.
But I'm just glad that we're at this moment here for Titans Radio, for the Titans, for Titans fans, and for you.
For sure. Appreciate it, Rat. Let's
go to the phones and talk.
Absolutely.
How about Joe and Laverne? You're up next, or first, I should say, here on Ramon and Will. Good morning.
Morning, Joe.
Good morning, Ramon, and congratulations.
Thanks,
and I look forward to Sundays with you guys. I've been a long-time listener of the show. And, Ramon, I know Coach Mack is smiling down on you because you were late this morning, and there's your $100 a minute fine, don't you forget.
He would. He absolutely would.
All right, hey, congratulations. I love the show. I love you guys, and I'm so looking forward to this year coming up. And tighten up.
No doubt about it,
Tighten
baby.
up,
Let's
Joe.
get
Thank
to
you,
it,
sir.
Joe. Thanks for the call this morning, man.
Back to the phones we go. Chuck and Gallatin. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Chuck.
Man, guys, just real quick now. Ramon, let's think about something.
I'm listening.
Let's look over his contract. Okay, let's imagine. Here we go. All right. Buckle up, tighten up. But look, you got to look down there on that fine print and think about this. Okay, it's good to have Mac and all the Big Mac attacks. Doug Matthews and all this. Okay, here we go. Now, Ramon's deal with the setup of getting on this congratulations and this high-tech ball network now, okay, you representing John Majors. Here we go, Baby Crockett and the Alamo. All right, now, check this out. Your deal, Ramon, now you got to bring this up now. I'm your par in Galveston. All right, with that, here we go. Yeah, they got to go to Neyland Stadium and wear that orange and representing the Tennessee Volunteers of all times, Ramon Foster and the Vol Network. Now we can say, go Vols and tighten up. Congrats.
Appreciate it, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you calling this morning. He went down a road right there.
Thanks, Chuck.
I really didn't know where we were going for a minute.
He took us down 109 and get to Gallatin is what he did.
You know what? He took the scenic route. You're exactly right.
The scenic right, man. A scenic route.
And 109, you got to be careful, man. They expanded that and had all that to go into Portland. And
you get caught in a trap down 109.
You sure can. The man's looking for you.
Will goes. Chuck, be safe on 109 heading 386,
That's
man.
Right. That's exactly right.
That was actually from a couple weeks ago from Chuck.
You have a drop of Chuck?
I've got actually several.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have to play them throughout the show today.
Justin Hawkins back here chopping stuff up in the laboratory.
Shout out to Chuck this morning.
Oh, my God.
Actually, I made a 20-second highlight reel of Chuck the other day.
Oh, well, you got some time on your hands, apparently.
Chuck deserves that.
Look, I want to say something real quick because I want everybody else to get their stuff in, but I want to give you your flowers, Ramon, to Will. Nobody really deserves this anymore. I've only been on the show for a year, and I've learned so much from you, from Will, and I've listened to you on the Vols. I've listened to you on Titans Radio, and it's fantastic. The ball knowledge that you possess every day that you talk about now, you get to talk about it on Sundays again, and it's fantastic. Everybody's smarter for it, or going to be smarter for it, and nobody deserves this more than you do. The hard work that you put in every day, I hope for you it doesn't go unnoticed, because it sure does not for me.
Appreciate that.
And this is amazing news today, and for Will to go from the sidelines to the booth to keep his voice going in this Titans radio history is fantastic. So this show is going nowhere but up right now.
Hawk, what I would say to you again, man, is the motto I think we all live by, Rhett. You get it, I get it, Matt get it. Anybody that's been around me is this, man. Everybody eats.
Everybody.
And that's where I like the team component of it. I like rooting for my friends in these moments, but I truly do believe if we all pulling in the right direction, man, everybody eats. It might not be the T-bone that you're looking for, but I promise you're going to eat, Hawk, and we're going to make sure that you eat as well, man. So most appreciative of you because you get here early to set us all up. But, again, trust and believe, J-Hawk, everybody eats, B.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
Sir.
I want to echo what you said last hour, near the top of the hour, about Amy Wells.
Yeah.
We're all going to miss her very much.
That's the homie, man.
I do want to reiterate what Taylor said. You know, she has an opportunity. She was the one that decided to turn a page and move forward, and she's got a hell of an opportunity. I'm very excited to see. Like, she's not going anywhere. She's going to be right here in Nashville. She's still going to be your neighbor in Hendersonville.
Yes, she is.
But she's been such a great stabilizing force in Titans radio, especially in the last calendar year. But for 13 years, she represented the brand very well and has been great to us for sure, and
Absolutely.
many others. And we wish her all the best.
No doubt about it. That's my friend. She goes hard with the best of them. She never lets up on anything, man. And her situation to me is super unique because without her evolving, I don't get that opportunity. And Amy was made known to me when I got on the sideline after Amy, sat back with some family stuff. Well, she became a mom. That's what it was.
Twice in a very short period of time.
And shout out to her. Shout out to the girls. I still say Yemens like her.
Yes.
But with that being said, she's given me a lot of game and her perspective on how to do this, how to be a pro, and the dedication to it as well is what I love about it. But again, she is to me a great friend, and I know she's going to be well and do well in her next adventure. She's still here in the city. She's still going to be around, and she's still going to give me hell.
Her last name Wells, so yeah, she's going to do well.
And she's still going to give me hell is what she's going to do as well.
Oh, we're in the rhyming game now. They're spitting rhymes. Okay,
Amy, shout out to you. Thank you for allowing me to be close to this thing and grow even more so.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Bam wants to chime in.
What's up, Bam?
Good morning, Bam.
Ramon, congratulations, my dog.
Officially now. You did it on Monday.
Now I can officially got you. I got you. Congrats, my dog. Man.
I appreciate it.
Hey, man. Hey, bring the noise. Bring the thunder, man. We already know. I'm looking forward to seeing your success. Another chapter of your success. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, got much love and respect for you, bro. This is definitely one of the ones where it was like, you know what? Yep, perfect fit. But get out of the noise. And we're going to rally behind you the way we've been doing the last couple of years you've been on here, bro.
No doubt, because here's the other thing, too. When I first came on in 2020, it was the same conversation. You know, my previous employer was Steelers. And I never forget, I'm like, man, I haven't been here before. Publicly, when you live in the public space, it's like, just work. Just work, and lo and behold,
that's all you can do, bro. And it's the same thing with the boys in the music industry, man. Just put your head down and just work, man.
That's it, man. And from that point right there, man, I communicate with you guys. We all support each other, from you to Mike to School to Andrew, Zach, everybody involved. I forgot your name in that cluster right there, man. But we've grown since August of 2020 because I got pelted the first week on air, man. Yeah, no doubt.
Bam, appreciate you. Tighten up, man.
Appreciate that, Bam.
Oh, man, same, bro. Same, bro.
All right, let's go back to the phones real quick. Ken in Murfreesboro. Good morning. You're on Ramon Will.
Good morning, guys. I just wanted to call in and congratulate Ramon and Will. Rest in peace, Coach Mack. And before I let you go, I know y'all don't call names and talk about you here, but I do. And for the other radio station in town that's not good, to disrespect Ramon the way that they have, for PK to disrespect Ramon the way that he has, is unacceptable. You are great at your job. You have shown that you don't show, any bias towards, other teams or anything like that. You aren't waving a terrible towel. You are waving news, truth, and your honest opinion. So for everybody else in all those other stations, PK, Jared Stillman, who got fired on his day off, those guys, stop disrespecting my guy. Put some respect on his name. He earned it. He worked hard. For everybody else, shut up, tighten up, and let's go, boys.
All right, Ken. Appreciate the enthusiasm, the passion. It's good.
Appreciate you, Ken.
We got a pause on the flowers. We want to continue to invite you to chime in with the flowers for Ramon in this big announcement as him being the color analyst for Titans Radio in 2026 and going forward. But we got to stop for a second because we're going to have a very special guest when we come back. Eric Mateos. He's the offensive line coach of Wisconsin. And you're like, well, what's that about? Well, he was the offensive line coach for Arkansas for the last couple of years, and he coached Fernando Carmona, fifth-round pick, pick number 142 of your Tennessee Titans. We'll get with Eric Mateos when Ramon Will continue right here on 104.5 The
In the
Zone.
wise words of Chuck from Gallatin.
Class just now in session.
Get the lead out. Little Led Zeppelin. Rock and roll. Midway through hour 3 of Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone. Rhett Bryan alongside Ramon Foster. Will bowling on assignment. There's a reason. There's a big man right here that we're getting ready to interview.
Yes, sir.
I think he likes some Led Zeppelin in this. So in day 3, the Titans took an offensive lineman at pick 142 from Arkansas, Fernando Carmona, who finished up his playing career there. Joining us right now to discuss that is his former position coach, Eric Mateos, who's now the offensive line coach at Wisconsin, and he was his position coach at Arkansas. Eric, welcome to the show this morning. Appreciate your time.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us this morning, man. We can talk a little O-line ball in here today, if you don't mind.
Well, I was just telling your colleague if I could talk about Junior Carmona all day long. So it's one of my favorites. So when they hit me up about this, I said, "Yeah, what do you want to talk about? Is how long is it going to
be?" Good stuff.
So let me ask. I'm going to start with this, Ramon. I'm going to steal a little of the thunder here, but
go ahead.
He moved from tackle to guard in his last year. You and Sam Pittman helped him through that maneuverability. Is that one of the things that the Titans are getting is some position versatility, and how was that transition for him?
You know, I think that's what they're getting. We did it because that's what God made him to do, is to be an interior offensive lineman. I mean, he has the athleticism to play on the edge. He doesn't quite have the length that you would like, and we knew that going into his senior year. We knew that nobody was going to draft him as a tackle, and we kind of made that decision for the betterment of him, not even really the team, because he was an all SEC left tackle in 2024, and so we actually did that really for his career. But I think that the fact that he's got the athleticism, I don't know that the Titans will train him that way, but I think what he is like a super emergency situation. He could get you through a game and not just look like a total idiot out there.
And that was very smart on your and Sam Pittman's part, knowing the trend of college tackles that maybe don't have the length or athleticism, knowing they're naturally going to have to be moved to the inside at the next level. I think that's very smart on y'all's part to do him a big favor with that. But there's no question about the toughness and the physicality of this guy. Please speak on that about Fernando Carmona.
Yeah, you know, he just loves that part of the game. He's really interested in confrontation. You know, that's kind of the way I describe him. It's just kind of his nature. I think it's kind of his Cuban. You know, he's got Cuban heritage. I think he's kind of like the fiery Cuban in him. Where you don't put up with anything. He wants to meet things head on, and then the toughness and the physicality part. He's an all the way bought in guy on that. I think that's just second nature to him. He's a little brother too, so I think his older brother toughened him up. His daddy toughened him up, and I think that's what he's meant to do, is be in there and mix it up with the boys.
We're joined by offensive line coach Eric Mateos this morning, talking Junior Carmona is what you call him, but we know him as Fernando Carmona this morning, man. Coach Mateos, as a former offensive lineman, so I made that transition from tackle to guard myself. I was a college tackle and ended up playing 11 years as a guard. Being able to make that transition for Junior Carmona, how did you guys present that to him, or was that an easy transition for him? Because I'll be honest with you, I hated it. I wanted to start him in the prestige of playing tackle, and guard was a little bit of a struggle to me to get used to the idea of it. Was it the same way for Carmona as well?
It was the opposite. Okay. I think, you know, when we presented it to him, we tried to show him, like, hey, here's the why. You know, this is. You look at your length, you look at your build. No scouts coming in here and is writing down on his notepad, you know, great length and range. And if you want to maximize your positioning as a draft pick, then you're probably going to have to be an athletic guard rather than a short tackle. And he's a guy who buys in pretty easy. Yeah, he didn't take. I think it took him about 30 seconds of convincing. And the biggest thing you're concerned about when you move a tackle inside, and I know a lot of O-line people say, "Oh, it's easy to move tackles in the guard," and I don't necessarily agree at all. I think the processing speed increases so much when you go from tackle to guard. Your eyes have to work so much faster as a guard. The closer you are to the ball, the faster your processing speed needs to be. And so that was actually my biggest concern was, how is this transition? Because he didn't play O-line in high school, and so he'd been playing tackle his whole time in college. Was he going to be able to handle the processing speed change in the SEC going to guard? And honestly, he shocked me how smooth the transition was.
With that being said, so he made another transition, transferring from San Jose State. What was those first practices like for him, transitioning from San Jose State to Arkansas and preparing himself for SEC play? Because he's about to experience another level up as well as it boils down to him competing in the NFL. How was that transition of physicality, speed, understanding of how to finish and play?
Yeah, physicality wasn't an issue at all, to be quite honest with you. The biggest issue, as you know, as you make those changes, is just how much effort you actually have to give to win your rep, right? When you're in high school, it's like you got to empty like a quarter of the tank. You're probably playing G5 ball. You got to empty maybe 60% of the tank. All of a sudden, you get to the SEC. You got to empty 85, 90%. And you're in the NFL, you got to go 100 miles an hour, empty the tank on every snap, or you'll be exposed. And he handled that transition pretty quickly. It didn't take him very long. I think that's what every O-lineman has to go through as they transition to the league is, man, how hard you really have to play just to get that 1+ on your grade sheet.
Right.
And I think that's something that he'll adjust well to. That's kind of in his makeup, and I think that's why the Titans drafted him.
I've heard now every group of good offensive linemen have to have, I feel like this. They got to have the smart guy that knows the plays and get everybody lined up. They've got to have the nice guy to kind of keep everything together. The glue is what I would call them. You got your stars that fall on the offensive line, and then there's the gritty one, the nasty one, the trash talker. I've heard that's Junior Carmona. How much of a trash talker is he when it comes down to game? Because every group that's good has that guy where you got to say whoa instead of sick him.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. I mean, you don't got to tell him to mix it up. And he, matter of fact, after we played Tennessee this year, I think their whole D-line tried to come fight him.
Yep.
After the game, and and I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on, and I get back to the locker room, and I asked one of the other O-linemen, like, what the heck was going on? They said, they all tried to come fight Junior, and I said, well, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like the first drive of the game, and it was already going. So, I mean, that's just who he is. I think he likes that. I think he likes playing that role. He's good at that role. I'd be remiss if I didn't promote that a little bit in the room. You need those guys to go be the igniters, and he doesn't back away from that. He toes that line pretty regularly.
If you were in a position of coaching him at this level right now, what would be one thing that you would advise him of, as far as being a young guy? And I think there's an opportunity for Junior Carmona to be in a position to at least get a stab at competing for the right guard spot here. What advice would you give him as his former coach?
Just needs to keep working on his core strength. I think that's one of the things he's developed over time. Going from 230 pounds or whatever he was as a senior in high school to being 320 now.
Yeah.
Sometimes as you gain that much weight that fast, one of the last things to kind of come with it is your core strength. And I think that's the reason he probably wasn't a second or third round pick. that stability in there, and I think that's something he knows he needs to get better at. And I think just him continuously focusing on that will be really important. But he's such a high IQ player. I know Carm is not going to draft him if he thought he was dumb.
Right.
And he's a very high IQ player. He's an all-around team guy. He's going to try to do things exactly how you coach him to do it. He's not going to say, oh, I want to do it this way or I want to do it that way. He's going to be very obedient to his coaches. But I think just making sure he keeps working on his core stability and that'll help him stay on those blocks. That moment of truth when the running back's hitting the line of scrimmage and the nose guard's peeking it and you're driving to your feet, and are you going to win that moment of truth? I think that'll be ultimately what decides how much he's going to contribute this year or not.
Moving from guard to tackle, I feel like he's inherited the ability to have a good pass pro naturally just by being a guard. Would you say he's got a lot of balance to his game and watching him develop over the last couple of years, or does one phase of his game clip the other when it comes down to either he's a good pass pro or better run blocker?
Yeah, I think it's really his versatility in the run game. I think he can block multiple schemes. If a team, I thought that was one of his strengths as a potential draft pick. If a team wants to be a gap scheme team and run a lot of duo and power, I think he's a great fit for that because he's sturdy and he's wide body. And if a team wants to run wide zone and get people running, he's really quick with his feet. He's really good at those techniques. And so I think that's really probably his biggest strength. But, he's definitely more of a bouncy guy than a thumper guy. And what I mean by that is, he's going to be a little bit more on the athletic side than he is on like the rooted, stick up all my cleats in the grass and just win the sumo battle. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. If you look at this year for him, he turns out to be a starter for you. How big of a kudos is it to you to prepare him for this moment, man? Because, again, you went and found him at San Jose State and actually watch him turn into potentially a starter in the NFL. I want to give you this platform. I know you're at Wisconsin right now, man, and this could be a recruiting tool for one of the kids listening to us this morning. They're already on break. But how do you view his development and the potential of him being an NFL starter moving forward?
Yeah, I'm curious what your guys' demo numbers look like. How many 14 to 17-year-olds you guys got listening in the morning?
Hey, Coach, mine is my youngest is right now.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not a credit to me. It's not a credit to me. He's just a really obedient kid, and you know how it is. I mean, you got kids that are coachable, you got kids that aren't, and you got players that can take the meeting room to the field, and you got ones that can't. And the ones you love to coach are the ones that want to be coached and listen to everything you say. They're obedient to the techniques, and they become fully committed to the unit and the brotherhood, and that's just him. I mean, I tell players all the time, God makes draft picks, okay? And coach's job is to make sure that player gets drafted where he should get drafted, where his talent allows him to get drafted. And I think that's what good O-line coaches do in college. There's a lot of them. And I think there's, the bad ones, maybe if God made him a fourth-round pick, maybe the kid doesn't get drafted. And I think that's really what our job is at the college level, is to make sure the kids get to the level of their talent that they should be at. And that's all I did, was make sure I didn't screw it up, and he learned the game, and he did all the work.
No doubt. Coach, we appreciate your time this morning, man. I'm looking forward to watching him grow. He was one of my favorites in this draft, especially when you talk about a guy that likes to jaw at the line of scrimmage, and he also backs it up. You got to be a special, insane type of dude to live that life of trash talking and also trying to body people on the play, too. So I love them types.
Well, what's funny is when I first got him, I coached Aaron Brewer in college as well. And he's a former Titan lineman. And Aaron, when I first got Junior, I told him about Aaron, about how Aaron was just a ruthless talker on the field, and I think he kind of loved that story. And it's ironic that the Titans drafted him because that's where Brewer started his career, and so I think he just embraces that role, and he wants to be that for his team. He wants to be the first guy to run into the fight and take the first punch.
No doubt.
Eric Mateos, offensive line coach of Wisconsin. Thank you for joining us this morning on the show. Appreciate that very much, and have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Thanks, Coach, and happy recruiting, man.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you. Great insight on it's Fernando Carmona Jr., so I guess that's why he calls him Junior.
They call him Junior. Yeah, Junior Carmona. Yeah.
A guy that knows ball, talks ball, and knows about one of the newest Titans, 2026 draft pick, 5th round, 142, guard Fernando Carmona Jr., Arkansas, via San Jose State. So, yeah, that's interesting. And that dude is in offensive line coach heaven, being now at Wisconsin, because, good Lord, how many dudes have come out of that school that played at the next level? I mean, there's a long, long list of that.
I mean, start with Joe Thomas on that one. You know what I'm saying? If not the greatest, one of the greatest to ever hold down the fort on the left side of the offensive line, just flawless. And how he goes about it. And you're right, in the Big Ten right now, being able to recruit those type of corn-fed boys of the Midwest.
Yes. As they say, corn-fed and hand-spanked, right?
Absolutely, right. Good stuff, man. I was glad to get some perspective on him. I love the fact that they got a talker. Every group needs a talker, man. The same way Taylor Lewan was for this group down here. I fashioned myself as the one like that for my previous team, and Marquise Pouncey as well. I couldn't wait to try to talk
he's got some journalism stuff in there.
Yeah.
He'll be a good talker post-career.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't wait to meet him, man.
He's a bright young man. All right, good chat there with Eric Mateos. On the way, as we wrap up Hour 3, it's Memorial Day weekend. Let's talk to Ramon. What's on the grill when we celebrate the eats and treats that is the holiday weekend? All of that next on Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone. Finishing up hour 3 of Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone, on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, in the chat. Lots of stuff we've covered this morning. More to come as me, Rhett Bryan, is filling in for Will Bowling on assignment. Ramon Foster, the new color analyst for Titans Radio this fall on Titans Radio. Right here. There it is, Jayhawk. You can hear him right here on your flagship home, 104.5 The Zone.
We up, baby. Let's keep rolling, man.
Indeed. I want to preface this by saying Memorial Day weekend is way more than what we're about to discuss with what's on the grill. There are thousands who gave the ultimate sacrifice to make that happen, that served in our armed forces in wartime, in peacetime. But for those who perished in battle so that we could have grill out moments with our families and gatherings on a weekend like this, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I want to keep that in mind, and because it's just about so much more than that. But I love being able to grill and smoke meats and grill things for my family, as do you. So, Ramon Foster, I ask you this question. What is on the grill at the Foster household this weekend?
Man, I have a brisket in the freezer I have to start unthawing right now.
No brisket, no brisket.
I'm telling you, I got to start with that. Got to start with that one. Got my blend already together and what I'm going to use on it. Of course, salt, pepper, garlic will be used on it, and just keep it low and slow on that one. Doing briskets are tricky. Very tricky because you can mess it up, man.
It's a labor of love, too.
That may end up being my my starter. Well, I guess the star of the show when it comes down to this upcoming weekend. But I end up getting some ribs about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
From Costco, no, from Sam's. End up getting those, and I'll probably end up doing the pork shoulder as well. My brother and his family, I think, are coming in town. Nardo.
Now, do you do a pulled pork once you do the shoulder?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Low and slow on that one too, and I'm cheating too. By the way, the Traeger is such a game changer.
Pellet grills / smokers are the life hack shortcut to getting this stuff.
Yes.
And listen, for all of the fine people out there who do it old school way in the big 55-gallon drum they've cut in half and made a hinge lid out of it and got a smoker box on it and putting sticks of wood in there, hickory or mesquite or whatever. My hat goes off to you. I love doing this, but I'm not that dedicated.
Yeah, no.
It just makes it easy with the pellets and all that stuff. But to your point, it's still a labor of love.
It is.
Because when I do brisket, start to finish, it's about an 18-hour process.
Yes, it is, right. And you got to have your mind right for it, too, because people will talk about you. My brother-in-law will talk about me if I burn something up. I just want that to be known. And if Nardo and Ron both are coming over to the house this weekend, listen, you can't let them down. Because one thing about brothers, when they joke you, there's a little bit of truth in that. And if the brisket's a little dry,
they're going to let you know.
They're going to let me know, Rat. 100%. No matter how much I slave over the grill.
And it's out of love, but they're going to be critical about it.
Absolutely.
Well, and that goes back to what you do in the pre-trim process of brisket. Because the real shortcut is doing just a flat or the tip of the brisket, not a whole brisket. You're talking about doing a whole brisket because you got a lot of people to feed.
Absolutely, man.
But, do you cook it with the fat cap side down or side up smoke-wise?
Side up.
You do side up so that all of that drips through.
It drips down. Absolutely. And then once it hit a certain temperature, double wrap it, put a little beef broth in there too to keep it steamy or whatever on the inside of the wrap, and just kind of let it tenderize all the way through, man.
So I have only done fat cap down.
You have?
I have only done it that way. And there's differing opinions of how you do that. But the other thing is you got to trim that thing right.
Yeah, you do.
And if you cut too much out of that, you're going to burn the bottom of your brisket. And your burn ends should be on the ends. That's why they're called burn ends.
Absolutely.
But I tell you, the secret for me in keeping the moisture like it's supposed to be and just carving that rascal and going to town is when you're done – after about, for me, it'd be like 15 hours, putting it in butcher paper and putting it in a dry cooler for about 3 hours. And just let it roast and rest in its own stuff.
Sir.
And then you pull that rascal out and put it on the cutting board. And man, is that a beautiful thing.
Amazing. I'm telling you, yeah. And got to have that smoke ring available to you. But this weekend should be a good one. I think the weather's supposed to be somewhat mildish. I think we should get some
chance of rain. And so it'd probably be a cooler weekend. So you have to watch the forecast to see about that. But again, the pellet grill makes that easier because the only thing you have jeopardy of theirs losing power.
Yeah, I got Jonas at the point is where it's at on the brisket. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm telling you, I absolutely love each side of it though too. But it's an art to it though too, right? That's the beauty of it for me is watching it, making sure it stays at the right temperature. And I do have the green egg too. It's just that I use that for most of my like my steaks and stuff like that right now. The long smoking.
The brisket, to your point, it keeps you honest.
It keeps you honest.
Because man,
it'll test you.
First one I ever did, I'm like, boy, I wish, and it's an expensive piece of meat. If you're doing whole brisket and you're like, man, I wish I hadn't have done this. But, teachable learning moments.
Yeah,
But it will certainly keep you honest because there is a balance right there. You want that temp to hover right around, I think when I do it, it's just below 200 degrees.
Yeah.
About 180, 190.
It needs to be able to do its own thing. Yep. You don't need to rush it, not even a little bit. This
All
ain't
you
like
do is
steak.
make sure that hopper's loaded with pellets and keep rolling.
Yeah, buddy. I'm here for it, man. My backyard's a mess right now, though, too, because I got some stuff going on.
That's right.
Back
You said
there.
you had a little home improvement
I do.
project.
Got a little home improvement project in the backyard. But we still going to fire the grills up this weekend. And to your original point, man, thank you all who have served and given the ultimate sacrifice for our ability to do this type stuff. So let's go, Rhett. Going into the weekend.
Yes, indeed. Fourth and final hour.
What was up?
Of the Ramon and Will program here on 104.5 The Zone. When we return, we'll revisit what the Titans released yesterday as they have a new executive vice president of football operations, Dave Gardy. All that is on the way on Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone.
901, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Our very own Ramon Foster was just announced earlier this morning as the next color analyst for Titans Radio, joining play-by-play announcer Taylor Zarzour in the booth this fall. Ramon becomes the fourth color analyst in Titans Radio history, joining Pat Ryan, Frank Wycheck, and the late Dave McGinnis. In other Titans news yesterday, the team announced that they have hired former NFL and Commanders executive Dave Gardy as their new executive vice president of football operations. Gardy will report directly to general manager Mike Borgonzi and oversee numerous football operations. The Western Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs last night, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 30 points, leading the Thunder past the Spurs, taking Game 2 and tying the series up at one game apiece. The Thunder beat the Spurs 122-113. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Knicks lead the Cavs 1-0, and the series tip-off is at 7 o'clock on ESPN at Madison Square Garden. Western Conference Finals of the NHL playoffs, Carter Hart made 36 saves as the Golden Knights steal Game 1 4-2 over the Colorado Avalanche. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals takes place tonight in Raleigh, North Carolina, as the Hurricanes host the Canadiens at 7 o'clock on TNT. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Holding up four fingers for the fourth and final hour of a Thursday, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Rhett Bryan in for Will Bowling on assignment. He returns mañana. Ramon Foster right over there across from me right now.
Yay.
The new color analyst for your Tennessee Titans on Titans Radio.
It's
has a nice ring to it.
It's official now.
It is official.
You said that's like, oh, yeah, that did happen this morning, man.
It did. We had that earlier this morning. We've had a lot of great conversation. There's been a lot of stories that have happened. Like, this was a news day. Some stuff from late last night before we went on the air. And then your news at 7:30 this morning with Taylor Zarzour and Will Bowling online and Kevin Dyson coming into this. I think that's a great way for the team to celebrate the final farewell season in current Nissan Stadium with alum players to work the sidelines as a good farewell to this. And it's going to start in week 1 against the New York Jets, September the 13th, with Dr. Kevin Dyson.
No doubt, man. And Dr. Dyson, man, is going to be phenomenal. And I remember my first time doing sidelines. I was nervous as heck. What do I look for? How do I do it? When do I jump in? And then you catch a flow with it more than anything. Heck, I felt like I was talking back upstairs to Brad Willis and Philip Noel a lot about, hey, this is about to happen. So having that eye of a player on the field is nothing but an asset. And I know Dr. Dyson's going to be good. And the unique thing about him, we didn't even bring it up, but he's in a unique situation because he has the ability to watch the first wide receiver taken in the draft on the field, and that's what he was in
his first regular season game. That's a great point.
So
that's a great point.
That's a unique position for him, and also just being able to get that perspective. If Carnell does do something, the wide receivers, or being able to watch Cam and give his perspective too, because I know this is going to be an inclusive broadcast on how we do this, and having the Titans alum on the sideline is nothing but a benefit for everybody.
Speaking of the Titans, they are very topical this week because they will be the host team as the host city of Super Bowl 64 in February of 2030. That has been the monster headline through all of this. But one of the other headlines that they, in my opinion, kind of quietly dropped yesterday afternoon is that they have a new executive vice president of football operations. As Chad Brinker made his way out and Dave Gardy comes in. Dave Gardy, for a little background in this, New York native, played quarterback for 4 years at Brown while earning a bachelor's in science, political science, and also earned a doctor of law degree from Hofstra, and son of a football coach and quarterback in college. But he has an extensive resume in the NFL to be a huge help to Mike Borgonzi and the personnel department for the Tennessee Titans. In his role as EVP of football operations, he will oversee football administration, football strategy and analytics, football research, football information systems, video, equipment, team ops, and security, while reporting directly to General Manager Mike Borgonzi. Previously, in the last couple of years, he has been the VP of Football Initiatives for the Washington Commanders, where he had several roles and duties under that title. But previous to that, he had a long time at 345 Park Avenue in Manhattan at the league office, and in particular with football operations. The knowledge this man brings to the Tennessee Titans of the game itself, the rules, the structure, protocols, staying in the right lanes of things, it's an enormous hire for them.
It is, man. And it just, again, how official he is in the time that he spent in the NFL and understanding most facets of it, if not all facets of on the field, off the field, rules, the logistics of how to set up a team in the offseason, during the season. You mentioned earlier the conversation about the 18th game. You got somebody that's been in football operations that know what that means and what it should look like, how you plan out the offseason. And as you mentioned, too, like the small task that a GM usually does, because some GMs on teams handle everything.
Some are very, very hands-on.
They want to be on film. They want to be in on equipment. They want to order towels. They want to be on security. Well, one thing that you and I have talked about off air is Borgonzi separating himself from the off-the-field stuff, in my opinion, and he's focusing on football. Football drives all of this, and everything that Dave Gardy's going to be doing is all support and just knowledge and just an extension of the actual business that allows Borgonzi and his crew to do their thing, which allows Coach Saleh and his staff win football games.
Couldn't have said it
just
better.
Makes sense.
It does. It really does. And let's go underline it with one other thing is just a takeaway from this is because of that experience with the league. And look, all of these people are connected. You talk about it being in the fraternity of the NFL.
It is.
You might not have played with someone in the league that played for someone else or played against them. Maybe you have a common thread with a teammate that moved teams or a coach that coached you or whatever. But it's a smaller circle, and certainly for the personnel people and the league people in this. So you're right. As the league looks to expand more international games, a potential and I think eventual 18th game in this,
I mean,
that's a huge pillar of knowledge to draw from, because the guy, I guarantee you, he has all kinds of connections in the main building in New York and throughout the league, and with a pulse on the competition committee, as you know, annually rules are tweaked and changed.
No doubt about it. I mean, we're starting off just looking at the growth of the league and, just the incorporation of Dave Gardy too moving forward. The NFL, just looking at the business, is starting off week 1 overseas in Australia. There's a light conversation. We mentioned the 18th game, but the idea, too, of 16 international games. I thought, okay, we'll get past week 1 and week 2, and then you start sending teams overseas. Like, no, that's happening week 1 of this year. And just getting all that together, you have to send personnel over to those countries and have people facilitate, okay, this is where we're going to practice at. Where are the buses that we need? As far as the staff and support group that has to go over there as well. Can we set up cameras? What's local laws? As we figured out this past year, as guys have gotten in trouble overseas too. But this is some of the role, if I'm not mistaken, what a guy like Dave Gardy will help facilitate on top of the on-site stuff here in Nashville, too, at Vanderbilt Health Football Center.
Well, and you're right, because they have Chris Matusek and Nick Hardesty over there in the football ops. I mean, those guys, man, between those and the trainers and the locker room and equipment guys, they're some of the hardest working dudes in that building.
It's a lot.
And everybody does their own share, but, man, they do a lot of work. But you're right, in working in concert with those guys I mentioned, just to think about a flight manifest for international. There are some things that you go ahead and send. Well, how about just going and sending everything? Some of the stuff gets sent over via ship.
Yep.
Weeks ahead. And there's a manifest, and everything has to pass through custom. I mean, it's a lot to be able to pull off just one international game for the National Football League for 2 franchises.
No, it is. But it's a fun part to be of it. And again, I think this sets just more of a calming sense to a staff that's aligned, and everybody's got their own task and answers to Mike Borgonzi on this one, too. So it's kind of cool, man. But we get OTAs live today, though, too, Rhett.
We are. I'm going to go to Vanderbilt Health Football Center when we're done here.
I follow you over there.
Just to get a gander at see what these fellas look like.
For sure.
And an overcast day. It's not 97 degrees outside. Probably a little muggy, but it's overcast. So
I'll take this.
You better believe it.
I'll take this because soon enough, it's going to be about 81 degrees overnight, if not hotter, with a lot of humidity.
It's our 72nd day consecutive of 90-degree temperatures. Your forecast upcoming.
That's what I always wanted to hear. Playing in a mild summer city is super unique because the moment that guys come down south, which is why I love training in the summer with my trainer down here, you breathe water basically. And the acclimation that we saw in previous years of a guy like Traylon Burks, the allergies is real here. Like people we're in a dust bowl for the most part, man. And watching these guys like Cardinal Tate that's coming from Ohio State, that's got to get acclimated to the humidity down here. Or you look in situation, guys coming from the West Coast, they don't really deal with the humidity the way we do. And like being dropped in the middle of a practice and have to go 100% is an adjustment. I don't blame anybody that this time of the year anyway that's not conditioned for it. You should be in good condition, but that humidity will break the strongest people I've seen.
I just by osmosis and watching many practices, yeah, it's real.
It is real.
It's like going to see guys play in Denver.
Yeah.
Mile High is real.
Yes, and if the Titans or if anybody get an opportunity to go to Mexico City, that's a real elevation.
There is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I never forget playing in Denver, and I just thought walking around like, this is all right. This ain't no big deal. And then you run one lap around the field, and you find yourself breathing 2 times to catch one breath. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
There's a lot. That acclimation is different.
You and I spoke this. I felt like we spoke it into existence. That's not what we're going to take credit for because we talked a little bit about the impact of Nashville and what it's become in the last decade plus and what it will be like post Super Bowl 64 in 2030. And we mentioned how Nashville's just Nashville. You never know who you find out is living here and is a resident here. You know, Jim Nantz, who emceed the press conference yesterday, has been a resident of Nashville for many years now. And we talked about Tight End University. Well, Tight End University is coming back this summer.
It is.
George Kittle is one of the architects of that. Greg Olson, Travis Kelce. But they're going to that Tight Ends and Friends event on Tuesday, June 23rd. And that's their marquee live event at the Pinnacle. That's the one where they had a viral moment where Taylor Swift showed up unannounced and everybody lost their minds.
Of course.
Wow. Right? It's
of course.
Taylor, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that again is coming back to Middle Tennessee. And I mean, think about this. Man, it's a who's who of current like NFL tight ends that report and show up for this thing to work on their craft positionally.
Together. And I like this for them because it brings awareness to their position. That is to me like the fullback position, depending on what type of guy your team has, is lost, right? Like people in San Francisco probably love Kyle Juszczyk because he's a commodity there. But look at the other NFL cities. Like there's not a Juszczyk around in every city, so you forget about him. And tight ends is one of those positions as well. If you don't have a Kittle or Kelce or one of those types, you'll forget about your tight end. It's just a passive type of position. Having the tight end U camp that they have that is now streamed for the most part too. It brings an importance to the position that if you have a quarterback that knows what they mean to him, this is why this is a part of it. They get lost between the blocking and can they actually catch. And people take for granted a guy being stable-handed and getting you 600 to 800 yards a year at the tight end position. Those are very important spots, and I like that for them because we overlook them, I feel like, a little bit too much from time to time.
I agree because it is a place where a guy can maybe he's been labeled as, he's just straight up wide.
Yeah.
Inline blocker.
Yeah, inline blocker.
But he's got pretty good hands. Like one of the guys that the Titans brought in free agency from the New York Giants, Daniel Bellinger.
Daniel Bellinger, yes.
He has sneaky good hands. And he was one of the best blockers in the class he was drafted in a few years back.
Oh.
But don't sleep on the hands. He's got pretty doggone good hands.
But what's crazy is you'll know him around the league, like the people that watch and know his position. But then when free agency pops up and you realize this guy's got $8 million a year, it's like, why is he getting $8 million a year? Well, teams that need this type of guy understand the importance of it, and that's why I think it's important for tight end U to continually do their thing because they do get overlooked at that position.
Before tight end U, guys had to do it on their own if they wanted to do it. Delaney Walker is the prime example here.
Who involves himself in it. Yeah, you're right. Like
Delaney. Special teamer, Swiss Army knife, move positions to tight end behind Vernon Davis.
Absolutely.
He's a 6th-round pick. He's a 1st-round pick.
No doubt. And even if, like last year with Chig was a commodity here in Nashville because he continually made plays and he got paid for that by going to Washington. Like, that's what I mean.
Right.
Like, you'll overlook those guys, and next thing you know, teams that covet the position and understand the importance of it, they pay for it. They love those guys. And it's rare that you have a superstar type like Kittle or Kelsey, but when you have one, you hold on to them, and quarterbacks love them. They're their blankets on game day. It makes them warm and fuzzy because they know they're always going to cover them.
I'm curious to see if Gunnar Helm attends tight end U, because that's a guy in year 2 that I feel like is going to be looked upon pretty heavily for the Tennessee Titans offense.
That group has to grow up.
Yep.
And I don't mean in the sense of like they're immature. It is they got to make plays.
It's facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like they have
Attrition
to make plays.
is the storyline across every team.
It is. Sometimes
definitely. More positionally than others.
Yes.
On the way, your guy, Robert Ayers, VFL, joins us to talk some ball when Ramon and Will continue the 4th hour here on a Thursday morning on 104.5 The Zone. Hour 4, Ramon and Will, 104.5. The Zone rolls on. I'm Red Bryan, filling in for Will Bowling, who I am remiss last segment. He's the new game day host of Titans Radio.
Yes, he is.
Congratulations
man.
to him. Titans Radio is strong in the morning show, as Ramon Foster is the new color analyst for Titans Radio in 2026 and going forward. As we are joined by another biggie that Ramon knows so well, Robert Ayers, Vol for Life. Big Rob, how we doing this morning?
What's going on, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Congrats to the big homie, man. You know we gonna put one up in the air for the big homie today, man. Congrats, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I see you got your stogie on deck, man. We do in due time, man. We are due in due time for one.
Sir, yes, sir. We gotta put one up. I mean, I ain't gonna light it, but I'm gonna look with it.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
You'll light it in spirit, right?
Yeah, and plus I know your wife will kill you for lighting up a cigar in the house too.
Uh-oh, look out.
Yes, no games.
Big Rob, let me start with this. News broke last night that Aaron Rodgers will play for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2026, and then he will call it a career. Some will say finally. But as a guy who made a living chasing the quarterback, what will be his mark on this league? Because, I mean, only one world championship out of a 22-year career, but the numbers are all there, and you've sacked him before. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, dude's one of the greatest of all times, man. I know people have been down on him the last few years. I'm not one of those people, I look at what he's done in comparison to the other guys coming off of an Achilles and all those things. I try to add a little bit of perspective to that. But, man, I think he's one of the GOATs, man. I put him right up there, behind guys like Brady and Manning and Marino. But, man, dude has changed the game, man. He's revolutionized things in a way that, not many people have. The way he carries himself, the way he plays. I mean, dude's top notch. He's always fun to go against. He was competitive. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this last run of his.
Let me follow it up with this. The Titans' schedule has been released, and they have a couple of what I would call get-back games for some of the people involved. They open up week 1, September 13th at Nissan Stadium against the New York Jets, and that would be a possible redemption story for Coach Robert Saleh. And then a couple weeks later, they go and play the New York Giants, which would be the same kind of thing for Brian Dable. But from your experience, when you go play your old team, and you were part of a Super Bowl with the Giants, and you left Denver in that. But what's it like when you suit up against your old team, seeing if it's been a short amount of time, old teammates, old coaches, whatever, and just what that puts how much juice that puts in the tank?
Oh, man, I'm seeing red, man. I had two different experiences, man. I was fortunate enough to play against both my ex-teams. I played against the Broncos, and I played against the Giants, too. I was beyond bitter about the Broncos because the Broncos, I played in the Super Bowl with the Broncos, and they went and won it 2 years later. So I was furious. I was bitter. I was mad, but I was hurt. So I couldn't play that game. But a little funny story was I remember being on the sideline, and a couple of my teammates, they know how I am. They know how I get down, man. I'm over there. I'm talking smoke coming up out of my ears, man. I'm furious. And one of my old teammates, Chris Harris, who one of my favorite teammates of all time, an undrafted guy, all-decade guy, man, I think the world of him. Rob, man, you always a Bronco, bro, man. You stop looking all mad. I'm like, I'm trying to be mad over there joking with. I'm like, stop messing with me, man. I'm furious. I couldn't play. But then when we played the Giants, man, that was the same thing. I was seeing red. I had more recently left there, so a lot of those guys there. One of my friends, John Jerry, was one of the offensive linemen. I went off that game. I'm doing all type of stuff, man. But it was fun. But man, I'm seeing red. I'm trying to kill everything. I'm not really trying to talk to my ex-teammates during the game. I'm mad. I'm angry. They trying to mess with me, get in my head. But I see red, and so. But it's always fun. After the game is love. But during that game, man, I'm mad at the whole organization. I just always trying to find some way to be mad. And so that's how I kind of approach it. But those were fun times, man. And those were great memories that'll last me forever.
I bet you shook their hands after the game, though, after all of that left, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, for sure.
No doubt about it. We're joined by Robert Ayers this morning, man, former first-round draft pick, Vol, and NFL veteran as well. Rob, like you say, you've been at a few places, man. Denver with the New York Giants and also Tampa Bay as well. Those are three real good markets. Rhett asked you about, playing old teams component of this thing. I want to know as well because – we saw two coaches get let go, essentially, Saleh and Dable, too. And that New York media is not nice, man. What is the pressure of a player and watching coaches somewhat live in that space of having to perform for the New York crowd?
Oh, man, them lights shine bright, man. The media setting from playing with the Giants was totally different from playing with the Bucs and the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos was – when we were winning, we had the whole Tebow nonsense, and so we had a lot of media members in there when that was going on. And then when we got Peyton, that kind of picked it up. Peyton Manning, that kind of picked it up, but that didn't compare to what it was like in New York. It was a week in, a week out thing, where it's I don't want to say like a circus, but man, everybody's in there, and you really don't have any break, any privacy. So, but playing in front of there is fun. I mean. People expect a lot out of you, and the fans show love. We had great fans up there in New York. But as far as from a coach's standpoint, seeing them go against their old teams, I experienced a little bit of that last year with Heupel. I mean, 2 years ago with Josh Heupel, we played against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What it means, to go back to a place that might have given up on them or fired them, or in Hype's case, it was he played there, won a national championship there. He also coached there, and they moved on from him too. So from a player perspective, having coaches in those scenarios, you definitely want to, if you rock with them, if you really, have a coach that you like, man, I want to win this for him. It's a little extra motive, an incentive to go out there and play a little bit harder. It means a lot. The celebration in the locker room can be fun. So, you get that part of it too. But playing in that New York media and playing with those expectations, and it can be, it's not for the weak, but it can be fun.
No doubt. You mentioned the quarterbacks that you had played with and not chasing down. Rob, I have to ask you, since we're having this conversation lightly on the Aaron Rodgers side of it, who said he was going to retire after this year. Man, what makes them unique from the ones that are just okay and the ones that are Aaron Rodgers? Like, because I said this earlier, I felt like before Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers did those things where everybody liked A-Rod. He had the commercials. He won the championship. He was athletic outside of the pocket. What makes those dudes like him and Peyton what they were in your experiences around them or competing against them?
With Peyton and Rodgers, they're kind of two different things. I'll talk about both, but the Mahomes comparison is spot on. I remember when you played against Rodgers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he got the ring, and they were doing the discount double check and all that stuff. And you know how it was. The whole world was loving them, and things happened, and I think people kind of crowned him early. Oh, he's the future GOAT. He's this, that, and another, and all this other stuff. And then when he didn't win more rings, everybody kind of turned sour on him and started, picking him apart and stuff like that. But the thing with him, man, his confidence, his, the way he carries himself, the guys around him believe every play is going to be a touchdown. You could just feel it going against them, man. The way they believe in him, the way the receivers run routes hard, the way the O-line is fighting that little bit more, that they know, like, if I could just hold on a little bit second longer, he's going to make a play. And if he does get beat, it's not, if offensive lineman gets beat, it's not over. This dude can move with his legs. He can make every throw. I mean, dude's one of the all-time greats for a reason. And he brings that swagger, the belief in himself that he can make every play, that he's never out of it. He has the clutch gene. I mean, people say, oh, he never won again. But, man, it takes a whole team to win. He won 3-4 MVPs and didn't win, and people are like, oh, he's failing. Like, that's the silliest thing I ever heard. When you're an MVP and you're not winning, like, you just don't have a team, and it's a team sport.
That's so real. That's so real. And again, it's quick to be negative about stuff like that when you see personal accolades and not team. Like, but in the end of the day, he'll put on one gold jacket. Like, he's still a great. So you bring up that point, though, too, as far as him being dynamic outside of the pocket. The Titans have a guy in Cam Ward, man, that I know you like. You watched him last year in training camp in the joint practices. You were down there as well. What does Rob, not necessarily an over-mobile guy like Lamar is, right? Lamar Jackson, he can strike out and he's gone at any point in time. But those manipulate the pocket type of quarterbacks that I think Cam Ward is. What does that do for a rusher when it comes down to you closing out on a sack or you having a stutter before engaging with them? Like, where's your mind when you go against these types of guys?
Well, the first thing I always used to drive me insane is coaches coming in there scared. That used to blow on. Like, they come in, oh, man, this week we can't rush this, that. And I used to be like, man, get out of my field. I'm fitting the tee off. Like, I know what I got to do, man. But they would come in there, oh, this dude, he can escape the pocket. Don't let him out of the pocket. And they want to change the whole rush plan to make it be about just containing the guy. When you're a pass rusher, and I wasn't one of the best by any means. I was pretty good, but I was by far not the best guy in the league.
Don't sell yourself too short.
You can't slow me down even more. Like the little bit of juice I do got, you telling me to slow down and be more cautious. You can't play like that. You gotta, as a pass rush, you gotta have a plan, but you gotta be in attack mode. But the coaches would always come in there, hey, we gotta be smart. We can't rush hard. We gotta push the pocket and come up with these new ways of rushing the passer, and it just used to blow my mind. But with that being said, you do have to be on top of your game when you're rushing them. You have to have 4 guys working together. You don't necessarily have to change how aggressive you're rushing, but there is an emphasis on everybody being on the same page, and you got to build your cardio up. I know one of the things I used to try to do when I was playing against guys like Russell Wilson, guys that extend the pocket, I'm going to do extra cardio. I'm going to do more pursuit drills. Like, I'm going to work my rush in practice, right? And then I'm going to run 20 yards downfield, right? Those are the things that I would try to do. I'm not just beating my guy and trying to get back downhill and get to the quarterback. I got to work on finishing that play. So that way in the game, I'm used to beating my guy, but then knowing that he's going to get out of the pocket. So I'm going to run the extra 20 yards. I'm going to chase the ball. After he throws it, I'm going to run down the field a little bit more and then try to jog back. Things like that is what I like to do. But my approach, my aggressiveness, that doesn't change. I'm trying to kill everything. And,
there he goes. There he goes.
That's savage talking there, yeah. Robert Ayers, Vol for life, first-round draft pick, joining us here on Ramon and Will this morning. With that in mind, Robert, you have had your name called in the elite, the 1%, and you've had it done in the first round. You wisely had Keldrick Falk, the young athletic DN from Auburn, tracked to the Titans in the first round. Yeah. Speak on your experience of what, not just him, but, Carnell Tate and other guys around the league. What is that like, having the pressure of being the team's number 1 draft choice, and what that is going into the weeks that are ahead in their first camps?
And your situation, Rob, real quick, was super unique, just like Carnell's and Keldrick, because you also came in with with 2 first-rounders with yourself. You and Noshawn Marino.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that definitely created a good bond between that. I was on defense, and Noshawn was on offense, similar to Falk and Tate. But, I remember doing our rookie skits together, man. We had to really embrace each other and become real close, just because we were going through things that nobody else can relate to. We both had holdouts, things like that, where it's like, man, it's us. And yeah, we want to be a part of the team. We want to learn and we want to grow. But, people are looking at us a certain way. The expectations are a certain way. But the big thing is, man, going in and even though you were drafted high, going in with the approach that I'm here to work and I'm here to learn, got to earn the respect of the veterans. Hopefully you got some good veteran guys on your team. I had some bad ones and some good ones, but finding the good ones and soaking up knowledge from them, creating a routine of, look, this is how it's done. If I'm Keldrick Falk, I'm getting right with Simmons, and everything he's doing, I'm doing. I'm following wherever he goes. Like, okay, what time you come in? 6, I'll be there at 5:59. Like, I'm gonna figure out what being a pro is like, and then you just play ball and you learn. You be a sponge. Understand that you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna struggle. There's gonna be comparisons, and people are gonna say things about you. But you gotta understand it's a blessing to do what you were called to do. But just going in with open, with an open mind and ready to learn and ready to work. And I think both those guys have come in and help this team and do well. But with the quarterback Ward, man, that dude was special, man. I think he carries himself with that Aaron Rodgers-like ability, that swagger where, he's talking trash and, he believes every rep. He's holding his guys accountable. So I think when he gets that youth, a guy like Tate is going to come in and add value to them. I think, I really think highly of him. I think he can, I'm not going to say he could be Aaron Rodgers, but I think he could be a really good player because you could tell I like the way he carries himself and the way he goes about his business. So I'm excited for that whole Titans organization.
I just asked one more thing that you're excited about. The Knicks going to do anything special in the NBA playoffs?
Oh, there it is.
You know what type of time I'm on, big homie. Hey, Knicks and 6, man. That's what we doing, man.
Knicks and 6?
Knicks and 6, baby. We finna mop them boys up in the garden tonight. We gonna go to guys. We might let them get game 3. We gonna mop them up game 4. Probably give them game 5 or something. But Knicks and 6 is what I'm calling it, man. We finna go to these NBA finals, man. I'm gonna have a good cigar on the way.
There you go. Robert Harris, thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate the time.
Man, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, have a great holiday weekend. Thanks for joining us.
You got
great thought there with what Robert said, going into the same kind of deal where there's 2 first-round picks, Noshawn Marino, the back from Georgia, and then himself later on in that round. I hadn't thought about it that way, but
they did.
You all you had was each other until you learn out who your family is.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep. That's kind of how it goes. And Rob brings up a unique point, too. And this one, I think the new CBA has allowed what Rob and Noshawn Marino went through to kind of end. Rob and Noshawn Marino had holdouts because of contracts because they weren't as slated as they are right now. Carnell and Keldrick, I think, is yet to sign, but their contracts.
Keldrick's the only one.
He's the only one, but their contracts for the most part are just slotted each and every year. And Rob tells his story often. He didn't have good veterans around him to assist him because, you're holding out because of money. We don't have that type of money that you have type of scenario. And it kind of.
So there's instant animosity there.
Instant animosity, man. And that's where I think Carnell and Keldrick have OGs around them, man, that will assist them a whole lot better than he was because there is a little strife that comes with being a first round. There's a lot of pressure you asked Rob about being the first round draft pick. I've seen those guys go through it. Me, myself, being an undrafted guys, look at him like, yeah, he's going to get a pass because he's a first round draft pick. And all your teammates want to see you do is earn it. And that's why I think it's fair for Carnell in this situation, even still for Cam going in the second year and Keldrick as well, be in a position where all of you guys go earn it. Rhett, I know, you've watched this league evolve for a while. Young guys come in, old guys come in as veterans and free agents. Once you earn it, you're good. And that's where this group of young guys got to take that next step when given that opportunity.
That's right. We're going to come back and we're going to wrap up a Thursday edition of Ramon and Will. Final thoughts right after this on 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster, and I'm with Aaron from United Structure Systems. Man, they came by today to check out my house. If there's any issues, small or big, you're going to fill us in there.
We can take care of it no matter what kind of problems. So first off, we'll just kind of take a look through your house and see what kind of issues you got going. Cracks in the brick, cracks in the drywall, weird spots in the floor, doors sticking, windows not opening properly. Once we identify those areas, we're going to do a thorough inspection around the outside, make sure there's no issues going on with that. And then once we look over it, we'll talk about what's going on, and hopefully we ain't got no issues, and then we'll go from there.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ms. Foster, so we have looked at the issues that you brought up. We had the drywall in the attic up here above your bonus or your garage. You had some doors sticking.
I did.
Going in your bathroom. So we've inspected all that. We don't see any major structural concerns. So you're going to be one of our lucky good news customers today. There is some minor deflection there. That's not an uncommon thing. As any house is built, it's its biggest and its strongest the day that it's born. Right, and from that point, it just gets older, just like us. We ain't hopping up out of bed, taking off down the hallway, running downstairs. And
Not protecting quarterbacks anymore.
No.
Opening up late. We're done.
Your guard ain't there no more.
Okay,
so,
I got you.
So it just happens. It gets a little older and it starts to deflect. Now, there are some things we can do to kind of help adjust those doors, mainly adjusting in the door, which we don't necessarily do, and maybe doing some light shimming in the crawl space down there to address those sticking doors. But for now, no major issues there. We did talk about the grading in the back and some issues that we can take care of back there for you. But that's pretty much up in a nutshell. No big issues and you're good to go. So.
Awesome. So again, what you deal with United Structural Systems is it's upfront, it's honest, and now I can sleep peacefully at night, okay?
No roof. This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair?
The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
Final segment in hour 4, Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Rhett Bryan. And my last segment filling in for Will Bowling, the new game day host of Titans Radio this fall, alongside his teammate and the new color analyst for Titans Radio, Ramon Foster.
Yes, sir.
Been a good morning.
Has
been a good morning. I want to wrap this up with just an oddity in this. Interesting thing that I saw. The Athletic has so many great writers and so many great stories. There was one about a guy that spent some time here in the COVID year as a pass rusher, Jack Crawford, big 6'5" guy.
Yeah.
And they had this great story as a part of Peak. And Peak is the athletics desk covering the mental side of sports. And this story on Jack Crawford says not long after he had retired, he walked into a comedy club in Brooklyn and had thought about this moment many, many times, but now he was here to try to come up with any excuse to get out of it. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. I need more time. He says the 6'5" body of Crawford almost shook with nerves as the open mic was in a tiny room in the second floor of a Brunswick comedy club. Crawford said it looked like a classroom or an office space, but anything but a comedy club. But he added his name to the bottom of the list and took a seat, and there were maybe 12 people in the room. It was so underwhelming and dead. Like he basically just he fell flat in this.
Bad.
And of course, listen, Jack, there are other things you can choose that you can't. I mean, open mic night. That took some fortitude.
Yeah,
right
it
there
did.
now.
It took some steel. Is what you're trying to say.
Yes. Stones.
Man, hopping into comedy will be something that you have to be bold about. Like, it's one thing to be living room funny, right? It's one thing to be bar funny, but to get in front of a crowd and play, just lay out your content and got to have the hits, got to know how to deliver it. You got to give kudos to him for trying that one.
And this is without knowing, like, during that window, I didn't know any of those players like him that had come in, because obviously we can't get near each other. It's COVID,
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's a funny guy or not.
No
By
doubt.
nature, clearly somebody thought he was or had asked, or he wouldn't have tried this, because he said he thought about it for a long time. I say that to say this. When you guys are done playing, there are many different avenues you can go. The league allows you guys, if you tap into them, have great resources for life after football. Yeah. And I think about your path in this and what the path that you took 6 years ago, and now here you are, and you're going to be a color analyst for National Football League radio broadcast. You've already done sidelines in this. And look, you didn't go to open mic night, but there were challenges, and it's stuff you hadn't tried as much.
I did, though, lightly in the NFL. The NFL broadcast boot camp, I did that actually in Bowling Green. And here's the thing, most unique thing about NFL players, for the most part, like, everybody earns well, but, like, you also still want to have hobbies. You still want to be able to be usually in sports or a different field.
Idle time is the devil's workshop.
Absolutely.
That's what Grandma said, right?
Derek Morgan's doing a lot of stuff around the community here in Nashville, Tennessee.
You better believe it.
You think about guys that are figuring out what their next pathway is going to be. Ben Jones coaches and deals, moves around the city with his kids. Like, everybody's got something. Mark Mariani's got a lot. Brad Hopkins, a business owner around
Kevin
the city.
Dyson is helping start a charter school.
And
Music
went
City
back
Academy.
to school to be a doctor. He's considered, he's got his PhD. The point of that is to say, like, you're afforded a lot of opportunities if you approach post-football correctly. I did broadcast boot camp where I had to write out a paper that was for broadcast, and actually ended up using mine for some years ago. I know the guy that was over the program over there, and you had to get in front of everybody and speak and deliver, a opening and a close. Those are the things we had to do, and then I ended up getting a player show. When you look for those opportunities, they'll usually come your way if you are right-minded about the grind, because that's the other part too. A lot of players hop into these spaces or try to become comedians, and reality hits you quick. You got to be a grinder, you got to be a worker, and you got to be intentional about that next phase though too. So I'm interested to see how many more guys go the pathway that I did. My good friend Gerard Mayo is back in the finance world. Like, there's a lot of that happens.
Sure,
but again,
and the real world has a way of smacking you in the face sometimes, like it did Jack Crawford in this case. Meaning that with all humor, because it was a open mic night at a comedy club in New York.
I couldn't imagine.
I mean, I wouldn't do it.
No, not comedy, because they take that stuff seriously.
There's some people that think I'm pretty funny. I don't think I'm that funny. I don't. I appreciate that, but I'm
You're
good
not
over
ready
here.
for zanies, is what you're telling me.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, no doubt.
That music
man.
tells us it's time to chime out. The Buck Rising Show is on the way next. Great show with you the last couple of days. Enjoyed it. Congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you, man.
And as we get ready for the end of our term here on Friday Junior, what are your words of wisdom?
Man, I will say this. Never let them see you sweat. But also, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot, baby.
Boom.